That's alright, Mama. That's alright with you. That's alright, Mama. And just any way you do. That's alright. That's alright. That's alright now, Mama. Any way you do. Come on, man. Can you feel the pain? Into him now. About this new world. Ain't no train. Papa's got a brand new eye.
Thank you.
Purple haze in my brain. Lately things just don't seem the same. Acting funny and I don't know why. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. We're down near the lady. Cry 'cause the story's sad.
What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Election night again. This will be our fourth major election. And gosh, it goes by fast. Please get this shared on Twitter. Usually these are 700-800 people will tune in. I think we had 1,500 last election on Twitter. If we could go ahead and get a bunch of people on, that'd be awesome. We're going to go over tonight what's going on, the election, New York City, New Jersey, Pennsylvania Supreme Court, Prop 50, Virginia, and any other races that are going on down ticket. This should be an interesting night. We're going to go ahead and have a goal of about 600 because we anticipate being on quite a while. New York polls don't close till 9 o'clock, and that's going to extend some things. We don't expect that race to be close at all. There are some rumblings, and we'll talk about that, and I want to kind of level your expectations. We're going to do that in 3 minutes. We'll be right back. Hi, Tammy.
Do you want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news? Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's dog.
Hey guys, Barry Morgenstein, America's headshot photographer, coming to you from my New York City studio. Great friend of the Dumb Show. It is now time to put down the camera because it's almost 7 p.m. and I'm gonna watch the coolest, the most real and raw show on the internet. It's on every night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the coolest guys, Matt, Olivia, Leroy, and Amy. You guys have to tune in to see it. It's gonna be something incredible every night. Check it out.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What's going on, everybody? Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Matt Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me Show. I'm running solo tonight. Leroy, no tonight, because it gets really complicated on the control panel, and it's a lot of work. And to have, both of us here, it can get confusing. So we're going to try to keep it simple and just have me do it tonight and kind of go from there. Olivia's going to be running donations. She put up a goal of, I think, 600. That's whatever. We'll see if we can get it. Depends how long the show is. But listen, we always appreciate it. These election nights, there's a lot of work that goes into it. There's hours of preparation and research, and to not only be versed in our own state, but also your state as well and what's going on. And there's about 6 very key different races taking place, and pieces of legislation, or what we call propositions, are in play. And one of them is pretty clear, which is Prop 50 out of California, which is the whole redistricting kerfuffle that took place when Texas legally, through their constitution and based upon the information that they are allowed to process based on political demographics, decided to redistrict their lines, which is completely legal for them to do. By the way, last night's podcast is officially up. I realized that there was a Saturday show I forgot to put up, but that's okay. Nobody was expecting it. But last night's show just hit the press. So if you're a podcast person, welcome to the show. So Prop 50 is essentially the legislation that was pushed through by Gavin Newsom in regards to redistricting in California, and it looks fairly probable that it's going to pass. Now, this is going to be a late night pass. Polls are going to be in California probably, I believe they're 7 or 8 o'clock, if I remember correctly, maybe a little later. Let me find out for you right now. That's a good idea. So I should have found that out. So Prop 50, if it closes at 7, then we might know tonight. If not, yeah, they're 8 p.m. So that would be 11 our time. There's a good chance we might still be on. I do have a feeling New York is going to come in fairly quickly. I have a really bad feeling that Virginia is going to come in super fast. We're going to talk about this. Holy cow, yes. I saw it. There was I think it was a UPS plane crashed in Louisville, JD, if I'm not mistaken. I did see that as well, and that just came through. Pretty massive one. It looks like they were full of fuel. It's a huge fireball. I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but I would assume that there were no survivors. Most of those flights usually are pretty small crew, depending if they're flying internationally or domestically. But most of the time, they're east to west coast hops or Midland hubs. And it's terrible. We'll try to get into it. We're going to try to stay focused on the election tonight, unless something really super large outside of that breaks. So Prop 50 is a big one, and the silent overall results that could take place in Virginia is a redistricting here. And just a few nights ago, Spanberger and team pushed through that they were going to, if they win the 6 seats that are up for grabs in the House, and obviously win the delegation seat by Higgins, who is up in Virginia, along with governor, lieutenant governor, and AG. They're going to redistrict the lines in Virginia in the sense of eliminating as many Republican seats as possible. And once again, these are acts of gerrymandering. We know they are. We know the Democrats love to gerrymander. They were just slapped in Maryland for doing it. Yes, Republicans gerrymander too, but the one in Texas was legitimate and done by the law. This is repercussions. And I will tell you what will happen is that even if they win the House in 2026, they're going to lose it because every single Republican state will then do the same thing. And the net gain on seats will be like 20, 25 seats for Republicans. If Democrats want to do this, they're perpetuating a civil war inside Washington, but also you're going to start pissing off constituents. I mean, Olivia and I are sitting here talking about if Spanberger and all of them get in, what does it look like to possibly sell our house and move to West Virginia? So these are all things that people are thinking, and unlike other people who are like, oh, we're going to leave the United States, but we've left states before because of the politicians. Yeah. So this is a very interesting election run, and I want to kind of curtail everyone's expectations right now. If you're a Republican, if you're a Democrat, you're probably going to have a really good night. But the problem is the comments that are being made that this is a blue wave. This is stupid. You are in a D6 in Virginia. You're in a D6 in New Jersey. Now, what does that mean? Well, it's pretty simple. An R3 or an R10 or a D3 or a D8 or D7, any numerical value from 1 up is allotted to the party in power or the state how it lands. Now, a D1 or a R1 would be a fairly moderate state and somewhat purple. A 0 is truly a purple. And they don't go on the halves. So a D6 would be a Democrat plus 6 points, which would put it at a 54 to a 56 to a 44 split. So a D6 is a extremely strong Democrat blue, not deep blue, but blue state. And Virginia, most assuredly, is a D6 state. So is New Jersey. New Jersey is a D6 state. And New York City, if you can believe it, some have it at D20. So to curb expectations, and California, we know California is I don't even know what it would be at now. It's probably a D4, D5 or higher. And it depends if we're going on 2020 numbers, 2024 and midterms. But the point is California is most assuredly starting to gain red support, but it's still a deep blue California state. So when we look at this race, Democrats should clean up. I mean, they just should. There's too many probabilities, especially in Virginia. So let's look at those things. And then I'll look at Polymarket and we'll break it down per. Mondani's on there twice, but so Sliwa. See, here's the thing. The ballot in New York, I think that's what you all are talking about. Because there are certain party groups that are not just Republicans, Democrats, or independents, or Green Party, or whatever. There's multiple parties that can get on the ballot in New York because they have a lower threshold of return that they need for support in order to get on, because New York is liberal. They believe the more parties involved, the more candidates involved, the more confusing it is for the voter, and the better it is. But the reason why Sliwa is on twice and Mondani is on twice is because not only did the independents vote for, the Republicans put on for Sliwa, there was also another group, another party, a smaller party, put his name on there too. So that's why you see multiple candidates on there. It's ridiculous, but that's what happens. But yes, most assuredly, Mamdani is in the second position. Sliwa is in the first position, I believe. And then down the ballot, just three spaces after Cuomo is Mamdani again, and then somebody else, and then Sliwa. So I'll get a picture of it for you. It's a little strange. There's no doubt about it. I saw the ballot this morning, and they also don't require mail. They don't require ID. So you can go in there. You can simply just say, hey, I want to vote. Here's my address. And what they do is they check it against that address and then mark you off as voting. So you can only do it once. But the question is that really you? It's an interesting thing. What happens if somebody's still in the database and they've moved out? Those names are collected, and that information is passed down to people who want to do things that are nefarious. Something interesting to think about. Trying to find the Mamdani ballot. Oh yeah, this is New York's ballot. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, if I was in New York, I would just revolt. So there it is. But you see what I said? Okay, so yeah, it is. So this is how it works. You've got Zohran Mamdani in the Democrat column. Republican is Curtis Sliwa. Conservative Party is Irene Estrada, and then Zohran Mamdani's again. So see, yeah, he was in the fourth position. So he was first. Then Curtis Sliwa in the Protect Animals Party. And then Safe and Affordable is Eric Adams, so he's still on there. Then below is Joseph Hernandez in the Quality of Life. Then Fight and Deliver is Cuomo. And then Jim Walden in the Integrity Party. So that's how they do it. So they put you on multiple times because each party is allowed to get onto the ballot based upon the overall size. So it's not that they put them on twice to cheat. It's that they put them on twice because they cheated when they wrote the laws. Does that make sense? So it's interesting to look at that, but that's not cheating. It's a way to get a candidate on a ballot multiple times, which is legal. And if you're going to be upset that Mamdani got it, you should be upset that Sliwa got it. And if Cuomo fans who are independents, that he's at the end of the ballot on the second line, that's kind of shitty too. Listen, everything is stacked against Republicans in New York. It's just the way it is. It's what they do. And I can tell you with almost a 100% certainty that Mamdani's going to win. And the reason why is Sliwa did not drop out. So that's going to split some of the independent voters. And there are not enough Democratic voters who are going to go to Cuomo. And the interesting thing, though, is that I'm still holding out some form of hope because the turnout has been absolutely freaking incredible. This is the highest turnout in New York in almost 20 years. Upwards of numbers of 750,000 people voting just in the first, 5 or 6 hours this morning. So we have to wait and see. Exit polls are something that I don't take a lot of faith in, but I do participate in looking at what they have to say. So let's look at New York and let's assume that that's going to go where it's going to go. We kind of, I think everyone anticipates that. But if you anticipate that, you need to anticipate that the same will be said for the other states that are running. So if we go back here, and I'm what's great is that I've got my phone here. I can actually scroll through it while we do the work and take a look at Polymarket, which is great. So we have multiple windows open. I'll make this window a little bigger for us so we can really see it. Hopefully that helps y'all. So you can see the blue line is Andrew Cuomo. Eric Adams and Curtis Sliwa are yellow. And obviously Mamdani is running at the highest total. Now, what we can do is just simply look at the 1 week trend and the 1 day trend, and that doesn't do us any good. So we want to go to the 1 month, and you can see there's a little bit. But when you go to the beginning to the end here, going back all the way to May, there was a relatively just huge spike for Mamdani. And that's when primaries took place. So you've got a situation where the support that you saw for Cuomo just fell absolutely to zero after the primary, and Mamdani shot up. And they're predicting right now that 95% goes to Zoran the Magnificent, and Andrew Cuomo gets 4%. Eric Adams gets -1%. Now, these aren't the actual vote totals. This is the percentage of chance to win. So in this case, 9.5 out of 10 times Zoran Mamdani wins, and 0.4 times out of 10 Andrew Cuomo would win, and 0.1 and under either Eric Adams or Curtis Sliwa would win. Now, the thing about probability is that the variables don't matter, because on any given Sunday, that 1% can happen, and then it's a 100% chance that Eric Adams or Sliwa would win. But as of right now, the odds are pretty bad for anyone in New York to win other than Zoran Mamdani. Now, the one thing, like I said, is that this is a record voter turnout. And there's a few reasons why you would have to assume that. And there's one of two things that took place. One is that the Zoran Mamdani talking points that he is a socialist did not scan with people and did not take, which is a possibility. And honestly, it probably motivated a lot of the youth in New York because that's what they want. Or B, it motivated people to go for Cuomo. But here's the problem. Cuomo has an anchor. It's called Sliwa. And Sliwa did not drop out. In fact, Sliwa literally ran against Cuomo and didn't even really talk about Mamdani. And it seemed very personal that he just wanted to destroy Cuomo's chances. Now, I don't like Cuomo. I honestly let them both fail. I don't want either of them. I want Mamdani to win. That is screw New York at this point. And it's not the people who I love there. My good friend just released his wonderful book, Rock and Soul, and I got my autographed copy today. Ryan Weaver, what a great guy. He ordered it too. What an amazing human. I love Ryan Weaver. But anyway, Rock and Soul, if you haven't got it, please go over to Ballast Books and get it. It's amazing. It's a beautiful book. Just amazing. So stoked to have it. Thank you, Barry, for the autographed copy. Yours truly is in the back in the credits. He gave me a nice little spot. It's beautiful. Very nice of him. So I don't want New York to suffer, but I want people to realize that this is what they voted for, and they're going to get it. Now, the good news is most of the things that Mamdani is promising, he's not going to be able to deliver on. New York mayor is limited by funds and limited by legislators. And although New York is fairly liberal, they're not exactly socialist. There is a very large push, though, for expanded government, expanded welfare benefits, sanctuary cities, all this. And this youth movement is inclined to give him whatever he wants if this continues to be a positive for him and his run. And the Democratic Party is saying, well, listen, as everything is about Trump, for the Democratic Party, everything is now going to be Sliwa. He is going to be, and they will be, the party of Ilhan Omar, Rashid Tlaib, AOC, Bernie Sanders, Ayanna Pressley, and Zoran Mamdani. And they are going to hang this around their necks, and they will be labeled the Socialist Party. So that's something that Democrats are going to do, and they're going to drive home, and you're going to hear an incredulous amount of politicking around Zoran's name when he wins. Could something happen? Sure. The chances of it? No. You know what? No. It cannot happen. Because not only would Cuomo have to make up a 20-point deficit he would have to also make up the Sliwa deficit votes too in order to close that debt. So you're talking he would have to get 45% more votes than the leading contender. It's mathematically impossible, because that would mean that Sliwa would have to get 0. All Sliwa supporters moved over to Cuomo, and 20% of Democrat supporters moved over to Cuomo. It's no. This is why, even if Sliwa dropped out, it wouldn't have done anything. But this is why President Trump did not campaign in New York, and he did not tie his name to him. There's only one candidate out of this whole thing that Donald Trump has endorsed, and that is Ciccarelli in New Jersey. He was on the rally on Monday night. He did not say anything about Winsome Sears. Nothing. 0. Donald Trump has said absolutely nothing. And because there is bad blood, now Youngkin and Donald Trump talk religiously. They have a very good relationship, but that relationship always wasn't thus. In fact, Youngkin and Trump got into trading barbs during Youngkin's run, and that huge, amazing run. So they've kind of thrown away and buried the hatchet. In fact, he was very much involved in Donald Trump's run in 2024. Youngkin was very much involved. And there are a lot of rumors tied to if J.D. Vance can't ascend, or if the policies and politics of Donald Trump when he leaves office are as bad as it left after COVID in 2021 and J6 and all of that, which his numbers just absolutely were abysmal, that J.D. Vance would be a detriment to the ticket. And you could see a Marco Rubio, Glenn Youngkin ticket, which would just be one of the sexiest tickets I think ever created. It very much goes against a Newsom ticket or Kamala Harris ticket or whoever else they want to throw in. If you put Rubio as president and you put Glenn Youngkin as his VP, you're going to win Virginia. You're going to have a good chance at securing Pennsylvania, a very good chance of picking up New Hampshire. And honestly breaking the blue wall. And you would see Wisconsin, you would see Michigan, all of it will go for Rubio because Youngkin is extremely popular. He's a New Haven, Connecticut style candidate who talks like a conservative Southerner. It's ridiculous. He is, listen, I met the man 4 years ago and I was just absolutely enamored with him. I met him again 3 nights ago, and I can tell you that has not lost on me, and it has not waned. In fact, it was more profound than the first time I met him. So he is an amazing candidate, and he will do well. So that's New York. I'm going to save New Jersey because that's probably the race that has the biggest chance of being successful in any way, shape, or form. We'll go into Virginia as well, and go into some of that. Let's go into Spanberger and Winsome Sears. Right now, that's a 99% to 1%. And I will tell you the conversation I had, and it's almost 7:00, so we're going to have to get on the news here in a second. But I will tell you the conversations that I had around the breakfast table at the diner. I saw Gary Higgins, Delegate Gary Higgins, at my polling station, and got a chance to talk to him. That was good to see him, and obviously that's important. The turnout was underwhelming at best in the polling stations here in Virginia. We had several Republicans out knocking doors. We had Democrats knocking doors all over this area. They feel that this area is underperforming for Democrats. There are signs that the Democrats are nervous, but there's also signs that Republicans are nervous. Dean, I'll talk to you about that in a second. I can just answer that question. Dean says, if he does win, how bad will the mass exodus be in New York? It's a really good question, first of all. I don't know if you saw this, but Governor Abbott in Texas just said all replants from New York after the election today will face a 100% tariff. Now, I don't know how he'll do that tariff whether it'll be based upon their income tax filings or whatever, but he wants to impose, it could be a goods and property tax too, is whatever they bring into the state will be taxed with a 100% tariff. That's some pretty serious crap. And it's not designed to make money. It's designed to keep New Yorkers out of Texas. Texas is officially done with taking replants from liberal states fleeing their policies. Virginia closes in just a few. So I'm gonna switch over if that's okay with y'all, because I think it's important to stay on pace. Let's go ahead and listen to this a little bit. And I'll answer your question quickly. Is that yes, I believe it's going to have a profound impact on the mass exodus in New York, especially with businesses. Let's get this live.
Good nights for Republicans and very bad nights for Democrats, and very bad Democrats, and very very good nights for Republicans. And we don't know what we don't know yet. And what I find interesting is that President Trump in Virginia in 2016 he lost by 5 points, then he lost by about 10 points.
Yep.
In 2020, then he lost by about 5 points in 2024. The Democrats want to say this is a referendum on Trump.
This is a really bad take by Laura Ingraham because she doesn't understand Virginia politics. What she needs to understand is that during COVID, the get out to vote push for mail-in ballots was absolutely incredible in Virginia. And this absolutely just destroyed the chances of Donald Trump in 2020. He did better in 2024 because we embraced the mail-in ballot game, but they had a 200,000 vote lead this morning before any vote was even cast. They have won the mail-in ballot game in Virginia and solidified themselves as getting early leads and insurmountable leads based upon their return ballots. They made it very easy, and Virginia legislators passed a proposal that allowed mail-in ballots to arrive automatically without re-registering. You could check a box and said, do you want your ballot sent to you every month, or every year? And that had a massive, massive impact on Democrat return rates. Virginia is facing an uphill battle in a wheelchair, covered in maple syrup with a three-toed sloth as my grandma's behind the wheel. They are facing a massive turnout from mail-in ballots. Latino voters are breaking with Winsome Sears, which is good, but even some people in the Winsome Sears coalition, like Jason Maris, are breaking away from her, even though they've campaigned together for the last couple months. He's asking for split tickets and encouraging voters to split their ticket, because Jason Maris is probably one of the only ones who actually stands a chance to win right now based upon the numbers. You guys know me, I'm a conservative through and through, but I'm not going to lie to you. I've been covering these things too damn long not to be as honest as I can and forthright, so there's really no surprises. But Jason Myers probably has the best chance against Jay Jones, and that chance is slim to none. And the reason why is because down ticket voting consistently is what happens in these type of elections. It's very rare that you would see a split ticket for most votes, and those ratios usually split down both party lines fairly accurately in a 50-50 split when it comes to down ticket voting. But the ones that don't are usually independents, and those independents break with, unfortunately, Spanberger at this point. Now, there's two reasons why. The two big things on the ticket, besides the lockdown, which is just massive, this is what happens with Doge cuts, and when you go ahead and cut a very large portion of federal employees, they all live in Northern Virginia, and Northern Virginia is having record turnout, by the way, which is not good for Republicans. It's not good at all. It's the worst possible news that you could get. because those are all federal employees and usually have a D in front of their name because that's Northern Virginia. Now, not all places. There are some places that are fairly red in Northern Virginia, but the insurmountable amount of votes coming are going to be hard to stop. And then there's two major things as far as COLA, cost of living, is a big one, and Democrats actually have a higher percentage of likelihood from the voting base based on polls, and also abortion, which Democrats lead by a landslide. These two issues are followed by the transgender issues with women in bathrooms and men's in bathroom and all that bullshit, and obviously in schools, changing rooms and such, and then parental rights are really in lower positions than they were during Youngkin's run and even in 2024 when Trump ran. So you're going to see some softening there. Virginia has some issues with, and here's the problem. If this does ring true and what we see, what's being predicted to happen is that Virginia is probably going to stay blue for a very long time. If they get to redistrict and remap with these lines and the Supreme Court doesn't overturn it, which the Supreme Court is very selective in which gerrymandering cases it takes. And if California gets Prop 50 passed, well, you're going to hear that Democrats have an appetite for redistricting, and therefore SCOTUS is probably less likely to overturn or be in favor of a nonconformist decision when it comes to gerrymandering in Virginia. These are all issues. I saw the plane crash, guys. I'm focused on the election tonight. I'm not gonna. If I get distracted, we won't cover the election. I understand there's a plane crash. It's horrible. It's a UPS plane. I understand, and yes, it's terrible. I saw the fireball. It's devastating. It was probably full of fuel. I get all that, but I got to stay on the election. We're awaiting results in Virginia. Polls have already closed. Nothing coming yet. Exit polls are still waiting. The last thing that I want to talk about, and I don't want people to get too frustrated with me here, because it's important to talk about all these things. When we were at the diner, we talked about it, and the last thing for Winsome Sears, which I think is an absolute travesty, as a person who has a Winsome Sears sign, a Winsome hat, who she kissed my daughter's cheek and hugged my wife emphatically, and who I think this woman would be an amazing governor and who I absolutely adore. You have to ask yourself the question. One of the things she said in her speech was, I am in the capital of the Southern Confederacy and the Civil War, and I'm a black lieutenant governor. This is true. And this is an amazing accomplishment, but I don't think people are ready for a black female governor in Virginia. It cuts both ways. Kamala Harris didn't do well. In Virginia, Trump was close because she was a black, Haitian, Jamaican female. But their old habits die hard. And there is an older generation of voters in here who still cling to some of the old beliefs of this state. There's still active Klan in Virginia. Am I making this about race? Yes. But I'm also making it about sexism, too, because when Hillary Clinton says I didn't get elected because I'm a female, no, you didn't get elected because you're a neocon, unlikable female. The same hold true for Harris. I think that if there was any woman who could do it, I believe Winsome Sears could, because she's likable, lovable, and people probably have some good feelings for her, but I think that's why she will overperform with white males, but it won't be enough. That is simply my prediction based on what I'm seeing right now. And she has a very, very massive hill to climb. Like, very, very massive. Now, the closest race here, before we get into turning on Fox, because I usually wait a few minutes. This is good. Virginia's at 10 minutes in, and they haven't announced anything yet. And I'll explain that in a second. But if we go back into Poly Market, you can take a look at Jay Jones and Jay Samayaris. This is a fairly close race, and it seems to be getting some interesting numbers. there must be some information coming out that this is now split 50-50. These numbers have a massive close. It was up to 80% and 20%. Now it's at 50-50, which leads me to believe that some of the exit polls coming in here are very favorable for Jason Miyares, which is also why he may have broken away from Governor Sears, Lieutenant Governor Sears, and tried to encourage people to split vote. The reason why he would do that is because they got word. These are bets, remember, but the bets are also people leaking information and talking to precincts and getting some early results, and these are going to tighten and do different things. But this is an interesting result to see them narrow the middle this quickly, only 11 minutes after polls close. That's a good sign for Jason Miyares. The bets are starting to fluctuate between the two. Now, this is going to continue to go up and down, and these are just bets, remember. But it is an interesting one, and you'll see this number fluctuate. So it's good to see that. If we go into the rest, you're going to find the usual numbers that you would expect. If we go into Virginia, if we go into the election. Oh, that doesn't look good. Did they call it? Yeah, I think they called it. Let's switch. Let's get over. They're not accepting bets anymore. Oh, they are. Never mind. They just updated. It was just lag. Whew. I was like, holy shit, that's not good news. Let me explain that real quick. And then we'll go to Fox. So when it comes to Virginia, let's talk about 2020. 2020, the election in Virginia was over in 7 minutes. 7 minutes. So it was at 7:07, Virginia was called. And everybody flipped out. And it was like 3% of the vote was in. It was exactly 3% of the vote. And I tried to explain to people the reason why is because Fairfax, Alexandria, Newport News, the Hamptons, Norfolk, Vaughan Beach, all came in, and North Virginia came in with such insurmountable day voting for Democrats that, and the mail-in ballots are predominantly Democrat, that there was just absolutely no way that Donald Trump could win. So in 2020, it was called in minutes. And that was a bad sign. That was a bellwether for me. And I had already predicted that Donald Trump had a very high chance of losing. In fact, I had predicted that he would lose, and he did. In 2024, it actually took almost an hour and 45 minutes to Virginia to close. And that's because it was within that 3.5% to 4% number. And I told you it was going to increase. But at one point, Donald Trump was in 2% of Joe Biden, 1.9 to be exact. That was an incredible number. And we saw some tightening. And I told Amy it was going to be very close. And it wound up being like 5% for Trump. That took an hour and a half, hour 45. So if we take a look at this, we have less than 1% in right now. So it's 63% for Spanberger, 36% for Sears. If Sears can keep that number between 5% once they're at the 4 to 5%, 3% mark, then she has a really good chance of taking this into the late hour. If it stays like this at the 2 to 3% mark, they're going to call it. If she's losing 60 to 40, they're going to call this. A 20% loss is an absolute ass whooping of epic proportions. So what we want to see with less than 1% in, that probably means that 2 or 3 districts have been called. That's nothing. So we need to wait. The bad news is the quicker Virginia calls, the worse it's going to be. The later it comes in, the better it'll be. Hi, Ethan. Good to see you, buddy. So let's go into Fox. They're talking about something, and we'll watch this together and look at some of the numbers.
The reports has all the details from the Fox News voter poll. Sandra, what can you tell us in Virginia?
Hey, Laura. Good evening to you. A lot, actually, we can take away from what we're learning through these polls. Big question was, what impact did the texting scandal with Jay Jones have on the races there? That's a good
number.
What best describes voters' opinions of those leaked Jay Jones texts calling for violence against political rivals and children. 45% of voters said they found it disqualifying. Laura, what we can report at this hour is that among those that found those texts disqualifying, 9% still cast their vote for Jay Jones in that race, 88% for his opponent. Now, as far as some of the other questions we had heading into this. Would there be ticket splitters in the race for governor and the attorney general?
See, look at
well,
that.
here's what we're learning so far. If you were an Abigail Spanberger voter, what we're seeing so far is that 86% of those Spanberger voters cast their vote for Jay Jones here, just 9% for Mayaris. To your point about the issues in Virginia, we know transgender issues have been big for a long time. So we asked voters.
So I'm done. This is old data. Earl Sears at 41.2 and Spanberger 57, less than 1%. You want to see that number tighten fast. You really need to see a 45% to 55%, 10% or less. And once it gets to 3 or 4% in, maybe even 7% in, if she's not within the margin of error and 5%, they're going to call it. You should see this number tighten. It depends on which districts are reporting. So we're going to continue to do this. Folks, donations. Olivia's in the shower. We have a big donation number tonight. And the reason why we have a big donation number tonight, not because we're greedy, but because we're going to be on for quite a while. We usually do $300 every 2 hours or so. Well, we're going to try for $600. We think it's a good number, and we hope that you guys feel that and agree with us. So there we are. Well, so right now Jay Jones is showing a 69-30%. So whatever made the market kind of go, it's fluctuating. Jay Jones and Jason Mayaris are fluctuating because this race is going to be fairly close. And the two reasons why it's fluctuating right now is the two pieces of data that just came out. One is that Spanberger voters are not willing to split ticket, which is going to help Jay Jones. The second is that Jason Mayaris went on and was encouraging Democrats to vote split ticket, which shows a breakaway from Winsome Earl Sears, which is the heavy person on the ticket. Jason has kind of distanced himself from Winsome Earl Sears, and this is not a good thing. For Winsome Earl Sears, it might prove good for Jason. I think it's way too late to distance. Because these numbers are atrocious. 99-1. You're just, it would take a cataclysmic event. Some information would come out that two, like Fairfax and Alexandria, reported 20% less than they did in 2024. If that takes place, that numbers might as well be 40% because 2024 was a presidential election and more people vote in a presidential election. When it comes to these off-year elections, New Jersey and Virginia are relatively the same. About 42 to 44% of the people vote who vote in a general election, which would be the presidential election. In New York, it's anywhere from 19 to 21%. Now, New York is not following suit with that. They are showing up in record numbers in New York. Take that for what you will. A lot of people are like, they're all going to break for Cuomo. I don't know about that. So as of right now, 1% of the vote is in Virginia, and it's a 60-41 split. That's not very encouraging to me, considering that the districts that are coming in right now are going to be Alexandria, Fredericksburg, Richmond, Norfolk, Vaughan Beach, Northern Virginia. A lot of the mail-in ballot areas are going to be coming in heavy right now. They're really looking at same-day voting numbers, and if she doesn't have a decisive win, they're going to call this early. She has to have a decisive. I don't expect her to win Vaughan Beach. I don't expect her to win Norfolk. I don't expect her to win Ashburn, Alexandria, but I expect her to do well. And what she really needs is Latinos to break for her. Women have to soften on Spanberger. And hearing some of the polling that I'm hearing about Jason Mayaris, the only thing women were going to soften on Spanberger for, besides that she's ex-CIA, completely a stick in the mud, and wears a mask and a Darth Vader plastic shield over her face during COVID and is just a complete waste of air, was the Jason Mayaris thing. And family would have driven them to the polls, and it looks like that's not happening. Amy Bordeaux, 2625. Thank you, hon. I appreciate you so much. That means a great deal. Amy, thank you, ma'am. Right now, we're seeing 2% of the votes in Virginia, and the numbers are tightening a little. 43 and a fifth and 56 in a fourth. That's still a massive swing of 13%. But if that can get under, like I said, 7%, by the time we get to 3%, that might be good news. Let's just see. We got we have either a short time or a really long time to go. It's not going to be in the middle. Thomas Austin donated $51.99, and we know that in all things God works for the good, those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose, Romans 8:28. Thank you. Do you think they use this shutdown for this election, Stephanie? Without any doubt. I think the shutdown will end very quickly now. CJ Jenkins donated $10.80. You haven't been wrong yet for as far as elections. I hope that you are wrong tonight. Virginia, New Jersey needs Republicans. New York is hopeless. CJ, I agree with you. I hope I'm wrong. Like, I would love to sit here and say I was wrong. I haven't been wrong yet. You're right. To say I haven't prayed on this would be a lie. 15% gap between, this is some information, watch this. Now, we're seeing some tightening like I told you we would. Let's listen to this.
Bill Hemmer, co-anchor of America's Newsroom, is standing by. Bill, what have you learned thus far?
Good evening to you, Laura. The first of many times we'll be speaking tonight with the others going into the primetime hours. In Virginia.
Liv, hold donations. Tommy Cawthon, I'll start this night out. Come on, dummies. Let's help the show out. Thank you, Tommy. All right, folks, I need to listen to this one. No more donations for a second. Hold donations, please. We're seeing a 10%. Remember, this is 10% now. We're seeing a tightening. So some of these, but it's a lot of rural. I don't see a lot of the deep blue coming in.
2% of the vote in, and Spanberger has an easy lead. That's to be expected. This, however, is an interesting county to watch. It's Chesterfield. Both women competing for this job have been in Chesterfield a lot. It's a growing part of Virginia, just on the southern side of Richmond. With about 7% of the vote in that county in, Spanberger has about a 12-point lead.
Okay.
Let me show you.
Show me Va Beach. Show me
If you
Norfolk.
want to win in the state of Virginia here, hang with me one second. Got it. Okay. Here's what you want to think about. If you're a Democrat, you're going to I'll put Democrats in blue here. Northern Virginia is really where you want to pump out a lot of votes.
Yeah.
Right across the Potomac from Washington, D.C. There's been a lot of talk there about DOGE cuts and furloughs of the federal government. Also down here in Richmond that I pointed out, a lot of Democratic votes here. In the Tidewater region, you're going to have a combination. Republicans and Democrats all along this section of Virginia. And then the whole Southwest, this rural area that runs south of West Virginia toward the eastern edge of Kentucky. That is where Winsome Earl Sears really needs to drive up the numbers. And I'll show you why. If you take back, I'll clear that off here. Take you back to the governor's race from 2021. You see what happened here, Laura? It's deep blue in Northern Virginia. It's blue here in Richmond. It's a combination in the southeast, and everything along this rural area here went for Glenn Youngkin and his defeat of Terry McAuliffe from 4 years ago. You can see the same thing at the presidential level. These counties in the rural southwest area, you know, Trump was 85. 86, 87-point advantage in those counties. And Youngkin did a similar thing. If I just pop down here,
watch this.
Now there's a lot fewer votes down here, but look at that. That's 87% of the county in Scott County. Russell County is at 85%. I mean, really, you could just go to Tazewell. We were talking about this 4 years ago at 87%, really throughout the entire area of southwestern Virginia. You're going to see where Winsome Sears has to run up the numbers. So I'm going to look at this, Laura, just for a second here, okay? Now, it's early, so we'll watch this over the next hour or so. Let's see what she's doing on the margin. All right, she's at 83%.
Gotta get it up.
That's Russell. She's at 78%. Okay, let's pop on over here. Smith County, 68%. That kind of number for Winsome Earl Sears has to go higher. It's early right now, okay? But that number's got to be up around the 80, 85 area in order to offset what's going to. Okay, so this is impressive here.
So Bill Hemmer is going to tell you what I'm telling you. First of all, I love Bill Hemmer. Absolutely love Bill Hemmer. Anything that I've changed in my presentation style with politics and counting districts and everything else is because of Bill Hemmer. I really, really like him. He's absolutely everything he just said. I said Virginia Beach. A lot of people are predicting it to go red. I think it stays soft red or possibly purple. But some of these numbers, I'm happy with. Look at that down south right there. See that patch of light blue? That actually is something that Donald Trump did carry, and it just dropped to light blue, and it was a tight race. You should continue to see these things tighten. The fact that we're at 4% now, the kiss of death for me is 7%. If she can get over the hump of 7% in vote and she's under 10, that's a good spot. The next real cliff is 25% of the vote in. She needs to be under 5. If we're going to have a shot at this, we're going to need 25% of the vote in and have her be under 5. We'll see where we're at. This is interesting. Keep praying, folks. Let's listen a little bit on this, and we'll keep moving around.
The result for her down in Tidewater.
Some of the exit
Go
polls
ahead,
suggest that you're onto something, Laura, but we'll see how that pans out through the course of the evening. And we're going to see some more colors briefly here in Virginia. So we'll come back in a moment.
We'll be watching, Bill. Fascinating stuff. Thank you so much.
You bet.
And coming up, New York City could elect its first socialist or...
All right. So good enough. Continuing to look at news and data and Polymarket. Right now, Polymarket is calling 100%. Joanne Townsend donated $10. Thank you, Joanne. Right now, 100% of the votes coming in are for the investments, and the predictions are 100% for Spanberg. I think that's a stupid thing to do right now. I think the numbers aren't good for Earl Sears, but she is climbing. Right now she's at 46%. She's closed it to 7%. Remember what I said, 7% of the vote in. I want to see about a 7 to 8% gap. 25% of the vote in. I want to see a 5% gap. Good, Bad, and the Ugly donated $5. Says hold the line. Thank you so much. Let's take a look at the rest of the ticket and how things are looking on other portions of the ticket. New York, interesting. That was almost 100% for Mondani, and it hasn't really moved. Of course, there's really nothing coming in with polls yet because they don't close until 9 o'clock. So New York is going to give us a little bit of a fits and giggles here. We're going to go into a quick search, and we'll look at the rest of the Virginia races and see how those are formed. And that can give us a really good indicator. Attorney General Jay Jones, 62 and 37. Virginia governor election, Abigail Spanberg, margin of victory. 6% is a 3% chance, 6 to 9% a 12% chance. This is giving me a little love. A 6 to 9 is not, that's a margin of victory, but if she's 6 to 9 at the 7-8% mark, we're in a good spot. Not a great spot, but we're in a good spot. Better than what we would have been if we would have seen what happened in 2024. That would be a very good spot, because that was relatively close until you started seeing some of the big blue areas come in. Take a look at Higgins. See if there's anything on here. Nope, they don't have anything on Higgins. So a lot of these other races are going to not be on Polymarket, which is fine. We can actually go to another site and do that. Let's do that. I've got plenty of goodies for you guys loaded up. So if we come on over here, no, PBS. Abigail Spanberger right now is showing a 52.8%, 47%. She now is at 5%, folks. With 5% of the votes in. It's almost like I've done this before, isn't it? If you take a look right here, you can see 5% of the votes have been counted. I know this is hard to see. Hold on. See, that should be okay. You should be able to see that. Just blow it up one more time here. There we go. All right. So 6% of the vote is in, and look, she's within 5 points. That's a good sign. Write-ins are relatively low. She's only down. She's starting to close the gap, folks, and now we're 6% of the vote in. So it's not great. She's still down by a whopping number. 5% is a huge loss. But remember, this isn't a bellwether. I told you the whole time, New York, Virginia, New Jersey are not a bellwether. The only way it's a bellwether is if Ciccarelli wins. If Winsome Earl Sears wins, that would be the most devastating thing that the Democrats have faced since Youngkin came in and stole it. I mean, this would be one of the biggest upsets in political history. It's that big. And the reason why is just all the things stack. It's an off election year. Opposite party in power always wins in Virginia. It is an off year for overall running. You have the shutdown, which has impacted federal employees in some of the biggest blue areas in the state. There's a lot of things that, and she's an African-American woman. Let's be honest. I mean, that is a part of this, whether we like that or not. Attorney General Jason Miyares is actually winning right now. That 6% of the votes counted, so they're actually doing really well. Jason is winning 52% to 47.5. As I want you not to overreact to that number, that shows you that Jason Miyares is overdriving in deep red areas and Jay Jones isn't. Okay? But let's take a look down stick. John Reed, who is running for lieutenant governor. This is a good sign. Winning 50%, 49.8, and 6% of the vote in. So these numbers, you can see Richmond, Hashimi is having a pretty decent night in Chesterfield. But I want you to go take a look what's happening down here in Virginia Beach. Now, our good friend Amy, who is on, told us that Virginia Beach was going to go Republican, and right now she's calling it 16%, so good for her. This is showing stronger results than Donald Trump. That's a very good sign that Vaughan Beach. Norfolk, though, oh my God, it's a farkin' bloodbath. My Navy brothers and sisters. Hashimi is just crushing John Reed down here. Northern Virginia, it's a bloodbath. 60 to 40. Honestly, that's better than I expected. A 6-4 split is not horrible. You want these areas, and what's great is there's a lot of blue in already, folks. Now, we still don't have up in this quadrant, which is going to be into Fredericksburg and Alexandria. You're going to see a little bit of a different result there. But if we take a look, it's Jay Jones just took over here, and Abigail and Winsome, she's dropped off with 11%. This is the kiss of death right here. She's at 11%, and she's almost 10% down. This is where Spanberger is going to pull away decisively. Suffolk, Chesapeake Bay may go red. At this point, though, we're almost 11% in, and she's down 10 points. That is not good. She needs to be closing the margin the higher it goes, not having the margin go back and increase, because you're going to start seeing a lot of these blue counties come in. Here is Jay Jones and Miyares. There's John Reed. Weird. They don't have a state chart for Spanberger. Why? Huh. Yeah, that's not big enough. That's good. 77's good. 73. Ugh. We need 80s. You got to have 80 splits. You're not. There's a good split. That's a good split. That's not a good split. That's not a good split. That's a good split. These are low numbers, though. All right. Going back to Fox. Let's see if they've got something for us.
I view the future of the Democrat Party, because no matter what the results are tonight, we know it is now in the hands of the squad. This is AOC's party, which, by the way, you might recall I predicted would be the case back in 2019. And by extension, tonight, it's Zohran Mamdani's party, it's Jay Jones's party, and it's Omar Fateh's party. A communist born in Uganda.
I'll go tell you where Loudon's at. Loudon's going to be devastating. Loudon's right up here. 60-40. That's still better than I would think. Usually, that's like a 75-25. That's John Reed, though. Jay Jones is starting to really pull away. These blue counties are going to start coming in. Norfolk is almost just perfect. That's huge in Norfolk. Jennifer McCarver donated 10. Olivia and Matt, thank you for giving us amazing shows. Love you both and all. Dumb fam. Small donations add up quick. Thank you so much, you two. Patricia Good, $30. Thank you, Patricia. Very much. Oh shit. Fairfax just came in. Yeah, this race is over. Yo. Oh my gosh. 71% for Hashmi, sorry, versus John Reed. Ugh, this is not good. Arlington, 75%. Fairfax, 70. Yeah, this doesn't look good. Deborah McLaughlin donated $5.65. They're going to call Virginia soon. Thank you. Praying me too, Deborah. Yeah, now look, 60% to 41. This isn't good. This isn't good. You've got 17% of the votes in. Yeah, I would call it at this point. I'd just call it. Down ticket, all blue. Like I told you. That's what I thought was going to happen. What I wanted to happen was something different. What we wanted to happen was to see, once we got to 25% of the vote, to see that 10% mark go down to that 5. There's still some decent numbers coming out of Fox, but I think once they update, you're going to see the gap. Right now, they're showing about an 11% delta with 12% of the vote in. Once they get up to that 17 mark, you're going to see it. Let's just watch that happen so you guys can see what happens here.
Now, we knew that when Schumer refused to weigh in against Mamdani, all because he was afraid of AOC in a primary.
So watch this number in the lower right-hand corner. See this?
Jones running for
says
Virginia
12%.
General,
that's going to go up to 17. Okay, you know what, Laura? I like
stay in the
you
race
sometimes,
after
but shut up. 12% of the vote in. When that goes up to that 17, you're going to see Sears go down to about 41%, and you'll see Spanberger jump to almost 60. That's a 20% swing. That's devastating. And that's going to carry down ticket. Virginia will probably be called here shortly. I can't imagine they're going to... See, I just told you. See? Look. 17% in. What did I say? 41%, 58%. God, it's almost like I've done this before. Don't not donate because I'm giving you bad news. Donate because we gave you the right news, right? We told you. And just to be clear, I'm not happy. This is horrible, but I've been bracing for this for quite a while. I told you that there were quite a few things that took place with Sears about her campaign that I did not like. She didn't even come on my podcast. And that's not saying that if she went on my podcast, she would win. No, but you've got to get out where people are at. And people show up to rallies, sure. But those are already your fans. I went to her rally. You've got to go where people are. And people are here. Right now, we've got 275 people on. And that's not including Rumble. And there's people all over podcasts. And Virginia, we're a pretty big show for Virginia. So, you should be here. You should be on Tim Pool. You should get out there more. And Fox is nice, but those are the people who are already going to vote for you. You've got to get on more of the independent swing. You need to be on OAN. You need to be on RSBN. You need to be on my show. We've got a lot of independents. But it doesn't look good. Matt, you could move to Oregon. Not a chance. Now, Spanberger, I told you V Beach looks soft for me, Amy. I'm going to still give you accolades that it very well could, but Va Beach goes the way of Norfolk. I was stationed there for so long, and I know it's changed because it's completely changed from when I was there 25 years ago, but not that much when it comes to political, the voting machine most recently. Virginia is a blue state, and it's going to remain a blue state. And Terry McAuliffe was a horrible candidate for governor. Youngkin was amazing, and that's why he's a generational talent. Tammy Hines says, what did Tammy say? According to the New York Post, Newport News is going red. I wouldn't. It doesn't shock me since the downturn of Va Beach that Newport News is a little bit more up and coming. I think it's way too early. Let's go look at it. How about that? What did Tammy say? Yes. Karen says, is that the violent tweet guy from Virginia? AG in Virginia? Yes, it is. Yes, ma'am. Hey, Liv. 19% in, still too big of a deficit. Not even close. Could you grab me one of my hats? I don't care what. Winsome Sears, I don't care. Anything. I just want one of my hats. Thanks. Bad. Yeah, I love you. I mean, it's a great show tonight. It's just bad news, you know? All right, let's kick back over here. 20% in, 17-point delta. Let's go through, get a refresh here. 57%, 21% of the vote in. 21% of the vote in, 57% for Spanberger. Winsome Sears is at 42%, 53% for Jay Jones. This is going to be a bloodbath. 55% for Hashmi versus John Reed. John Reed's a good dude. Let's take a look at some of the numbers. This is just for, it's going to be John Reed. 52% Va Beach. That's still a good return on Va Beach right now, but it is only 26% in. Norfolk is just brutal. Looking for Hampton. Portsmouth is going for Hashmi. Suffolk is Hashmi. Chesterfield. Ugh. These big reds are just not coming in. There's an 81. Washington. 81. There we go. There we go. 84. Okay, there we go. I don't think it's enough to save her, but these are all coming in 85 and higher now. Now this is better. But man, look at that. Look at that. It's over 61% in Loudoun. Fuck, I hate living. Sorry, pardon my French. Sorry. Come on, Matt. Sorry. Sorry for the language. 71%, 72% in Fairfax. Arlington, 75%. These numbers are huge. Huge numbers. They're outperforming Trump. But these numbers are even bigger. And this is where a lot of people live. It's just the standard BS of Democrats. Blue counties come in. 75% in Roanoke. Ugh. Roanoke College is recruiting Hayden. And I'm like, maybe you can go to Roanoke. Not anymore. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not trying to be negative. Virginia going blue. Virginia's blue. It's blue. And I don't think it's going to change. Nope. Not doing well at 21%. That's a horrible number because it gets worse. You guys understand. The more they count, the worse it is. You got to be close at 25% to have a chance, and then you hope that it's all a turnout thing. This is a bloodbath for Virginia. Yeah, 1.7 million people, 750,000 mail-ins and absentees, and I think it was something like 820,000 people showed up to vote today. That doesn't make me feel good, though, Donald. But yeah, Harris County is 80% blue city. Is that judge a Democrat? I haven't looked at that yet. I haven't even gone into Texas. I will, though. James says, how does that happen? That's voting manipulation. What is, James? Yeah, Trump did very well in Virginia. Of course he did. They didn't like Harris. And this has so much to do with, I don't even want to say, Amy, you know what I'm talking about. You know this has to do with color. And Democrats, they're such asses. You have a black female candidate who's an immigrant and in the Marines, and you can't get behind her. It just pisses me off. They're so phony. They're so fake. They're so fake. So fake. So fake. All right. Listen, we're going to keep going. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And nothing in New Jersey. We should have polls closing in about 14 minutes. New York City's 9. California isn't going to show anything on Prop 50 for a while. We're going to stay in Virginia. We're going to keep breaking this down. Keep watching it. Let's go into Fox and see if they've called it yet. 23% in. Oh, yeah, this is over. Nice. 14 points. It's done. It's cooked. It's cooked.
The vote is in. That's a really fast count in Loudoun County. Spanberger has a lead by nearly 29 points. Let me go ahead and put a marker on this, okay? I want the viewers to think about this right here, because as it compares to 4 years ago, when Glenn Youngkin went against Terry McAuliffe about 2.5 months now, 2.5 months at the time after that disaster in Kabul, okay? So this is what the Republican did against the Democrat, all right? McAuliffe only won that county by 11 points. Yep. And right now, in 4 years later, she's got a very comfortable lead, nearly 29-point lead there in Loudoun County. A lot of people here, right? 4 out of 133 jurisdictions in the Commonwealth of Virginia. A lot of votes. This is Fairfax County. This is the most populated area in all of Virginia. There's about a third of the vote tabulated thus far at 32%, 1 out of 133. So Spanberger's really running up the number here. Let me see if I can put this on.
Yes, Obama won Virginia at 52.6% in his first run and 51.3%, I believe, in 2012. So 52.6 and 51.3 respectively. I think he won Virginia, if I remember correctly, on those numbers. So yes, Obama won both, won Virginia in both races. Yes.
14-point advantage. This is where Youngkin actually won 4 years ago. All right. So this is it's good news for Spanberger. It is not good news for the Republican candidate. Let me show you one more thing here, Laura. Pop out of this. There are 2 counties in Virginia that have gone with the winner every time in the governor's race going back to 1981. Right, okay.
Watch this.
One is out here in Chesapeake. That's Northampton. Right now with 6.
Shelley Morgenstein donated $50. Love you guys. The best podcast. Thank you for keeping it real. Thank you for the amazing rock and roll book. Go to Ballast Books right now and go buy it. Barry Morgenstein just sent this to me today. It was so awesome. And I'm so excited to see it. We're going to be up there on the 15th hanging out with them in that hole in Virginia. We're going to drive up and go see them. The only thing good about that entire place is going to be Shelley and Barry and his friends. But we're going to be there. We love you guys.
Benefits of GLP-1 injections in easy.
If it passes, the proposition will redraw 5 of the state's districts in order for them to be more Democratic leaning, which could have a major impact.
Yeah. Republicans should have had a primary. Yeah, I don't know if it would have made a difference. Not with this shutdown. The shutdown killed us. Democrats, as they use COVID, they use this shutdown. Democrats are so good at using crisis to win elections. And that's really what this is. It's an absolute crisis that they use to win. They use people's pain and suffering, and they're going to vote for it, I would expect, in a couple days. Tommy says, Matt, do people not like how good Virginia has been under a Republican governor? Why are they going back to Democrat control? The shutdown is number 1, abortion is number 2, and cost of living is number 3. And she's black. That's it. You can listen to all the exit polls. Hold on, Amy. I'm gonna challenge you on that. You can look at all the exit polls, and the one thing you will not see on there is going to be that she's black. And I don't care. I would have, and she didn't run a good campaign. Her campaign was not strong. And I've said that, and I said it 90 days ago. You remember? I told you. Yeah, Loudoun is where the boy went into this girl's bathroom and raped 2 girls in different schools. Loudoun school districts tried to protect the rapist. Yeah, Lisa, I don't think that was Loudoun, though. I thought that happened in Alexandria, if I'm not mistaken. We were a pretty big part of all of that. I may be wrong. I don't think it was Loudoun, because Loudoun's my district. But you're absolutely right. The situation is correct. It's actually, you're absolutely right. It was in Stonebridge. Hold on. Broad the case true national. That's right. It was that. Thank you so much. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I stand corrected, Lisa. Hey, Liv, when that transgender went in the bathroom, it was Loudoun, wasn't it? Yeah, it wasn't Alexandria. Alexandria was the book readings. That's right. See, Lisa Roy, you're absolutely right. Thank you so much for being right on that. I mixed up my horrible atrocities of liberals. I know. I got it. Yeah. So great job, Lisa. You're absolutely right. It was loud. You're absolutely right. I remember that now. How did you think of her debate? I thought if she would have stopped interrupting. Yeah, Lisa, I already corrected myself. If she would have stopped interrupting Spanberger, I think she was fine. If she would have been a little bit more meek, but listen, Spanberg did nothing. Absolutely nothing. She made no points. She doesn't have a platform. You could have put up the second coming and Spanberger was going to win. This lockdown destroyed the Doge cuts, the federal cuts. Just look what happened in Loudoun. Look what happened in Fairfax. Look what's going on in some of the most prolific blue areas. They are showing up in droves. And those numbers aren't even all in yet, and that's going to just get worse. Like I'll be surprised if she doesn't take Loudoun by high 70s. But let's try to keep this. Let's try to keep this in perspective real quick. No, Doge did not help Alexandria. It didn't help Nova, Loudoun either. Virginia's a D6. New Jersey's a D6. New York City's a D20. You weren't going to win these races. Not on that campaign. That campaign was shit. And Winsome is not Glenn Youngkin. And when I saw Glenn Youngkin there, and I'm not saying anything ill of Glenn. Governor Youngkin is an amazing man who I absolutely love. Delmarva Peninsula, oh yeah. Yeah, it's all blue. Most of it. It's all elitists. Oh my God. Doug looks really bad. Holy crap. Did he get Latban or is he on Ozempic? That guy must have lost 125 pounds. I mean, he's skinnier than me, and I'm 51, and I'm actually pretty good shape, but he has lost a ton. The thing we need to understand is it's a +6, and a +20. And Virginia just absolutely is just repudiating Trump. That's what this is. Right. Well, this isn't the midterms, right? But there's also 6 delegate seats up for grabs, and they're going to probably win all those too. Matt, how is the shutdown hurting the Republicans? Because Doge cuts. So you take Doge cuts, which laid off a ton of federal employees who all live in this area, and those two... Do you see this? Look at this. Look at the size of that. Okay? These are all Washington, D.C. people. This whole area is D.C., Fairfax, Loudoun, Fairfax City, Arlington. Alexandria. This is Arlington, Virginia. And then Alexandria, right here, dude, you got 100,000, you got 170,000 votes. You've got 150,000 votes. You've got 25,000 votes. You've got 11,000 votes. You've got another 7,000 votes. You've got 500,000 people in this area alone. That's why. Don't even forget about Manassas. Then come down here to Prince William, which is going to be 81% by the time this is all counted. Right there, there's, what, 20,000 votes? This whole area is just deep blue. Then right here, you have Winchester, which is Virginia, which is right where I live. Now, if you look where I live, where the shit am I? What the? Why am I not on here? Am I just not seeing it? Live! Yeah, they're going to put us in Loudon, that's why. Hey, Livy! She's busy. Has immigration play a role in some of these areas? No, not at all. We're in Loudon. Okay, so that's why we're showing those numbers. So Winchester is even going blue, which is really hard to believe. Frederick is pretty solid. The fact that Winchester's blue is just depressing. And I'm like right here. Right there. DC voted 94% Biden. Right. All right, let's make it back to the news. Let's see if they've called this. A little bit better, 9%, but it's not going to take the cake. That's not going to.
You're the hard left. You become the hard left.
Alienated from, and really.
There it is.
We have to interrupt, guys. We have a Fox News alert. The Fox News decision
I was
desk
6 points
can now
off.
project that Democrat Abigail Spanberger will become the next governor of Virginia. The former House rep will be the first ever woman to lead the Commonwealth. It's a one-term governorship, as everyone.
Folks, please don't not donate because bad news. You know, I understand it sucks, but we try to give you the best news here. And we had called this race. I know. I told you. I know. I've already reported it. Olivia, I reported it 4 days ago, and I already reported it just now. Yeah. This just sucks. Hey, Liv. 33% in. That's about what I expected. She honestly, come here. She lasted longer than I thought. I thought this was going to be called at like the 25% mark. They just pussyfooted the call. I mean, at the 25% mark, the race was lost. There's no way she's coming back from that. You can't be 10% down at 25%. So they should have called it. They were just safe, but they just took a long time to call it. But yeah, that's what I thought. She's going to lose. Everyone's going to lose down ticket too. So John Reed will lose. Mayeris will lose. Higgins will lose. All 6 seats will be gone. And I missed anybody? Nope. So that's it. Okay, so Virginia's done. Thoughts? Hayden can calm down. Hayden can calm down.
I mean, I have to be realistic about it. Yeah, I'm pissed. Now I'm watching the
School board's going to go the same way. This is all down ticket. Virginia. So going into, thanks, baby. I love you. Is that all? Are we done with donations? All right. Jay Jones and Mayeris is now 94.6. Yeah, they're saying the same thing I am. So listen, Virginia, it doesn't matter. We got to go to New Jersey now. Now, this is the only race that could possibly happen. I don't think Ciccarelli is going to win this either. I don't think Ciccarelli will work in this one either. But if there's going to be an upset, it's going to be with Ciccarelli. New York is done. Prop 50 is probably going to go through 60-40. Supreme Court, I mean, you guys, all the blue is winning because these are blue areas. Tammy says, don't count your chickens. Yeah, unless you watch my show. 68 district might go red. We got to find out. I mean, we need to win 2 district seats or it doesn't matter. That's the only way to stop the gerrymandering. Let's listen. Polls close in New Jersey. Let's hear what we hear. This is the race that has a chance to be interesting.
Become the next governor of Virginia. Spanberger defeats Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears. Let's bring in Fox News chief political anchor Brett Baer and the anchor of The Story, Martha McCallum. Were you surprised, Brett, that was called early?
No, it's a purple state,
early.
but it's bluish purple. Winsome Earl Sears did close the gap heading into Election Day, but, there was a Democratic push. She was a decent candidate to begin with. She had some stumbles because of the Attorney General's race, which, by the way, we haven't called yet. Jay Jones, although he is seeing increase in the polls, the numbers that we're seeing. But because of that, I think there was a stumble and a belief that Winsome Earl Sears could close the gap. Too little, too late. And Abigail Spanberger will become the first female governor of the Commonwealth. She was the person that Democrats said, listen, this is a moderate. She's going to be the example for Democrats going forward. Republicans said she wasn't a moderate. She voted with Nancy Pelosi almost all the time. And but she will become the next Virginia governor.
But this race for AG, where the guy says that he wanted to kill Republican kids, we can't call that yet. Are you surprised that we haven't been able to call that yet? I mean, most people that I know would say, heck no with a guy like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a percentage of Virginia voters who said that they found those comments concerning, but not disqualifying. And we saw that Spanberger really tried to just sort of sidestep this whole issue. She was pressed upon to say that he should drop out of the race. I mean, it really, really lowers the bar for what.
Listen, I'm gonna say this as nicely as I can, and I really hope people listen. The 200 and some odd plus that are on. I want you to look at what the influencers have been doing over the last 3 months. The Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson, and I'm about to get a little pissy. So if you don't like it, I'm sorry. And MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene. These people are all a waste of fucking oxygen. Pardon my French. I'm sorry. What are they doing? All they're doing is creating division. All they're doing is talking about Jews. All they're talking about is AIPAC. All they're talking about is the conspiracy theories around who killed Charlie Kirk. They're not talking about these candidates. They're not out there stumping. They're on their little thrones. They don't go to rallies. They don't try to encourage people to vote. I had a guy knock on my door. I brought him into my podcast today, talked to him, said, thank you so much for what you're doing. I really appreciate you. Can I give you a ride anywhere? Thanks for knocking doors. And you got to do something. You're not doing anything. All you're doing is dividing this party. All you're doing is sitting here and clicking your dollars. All you're doing is just separating the conservative movement for this new conservative movement. We've already got rid of the neocons. The last neocon died today. The last neocon died today. And Lindsey Graham has been completely neutered. But these are the people we listen to. Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, Megyn Kelly. These are the people who tell us that we have to hate Israel. We have to hate Jews. We can't have Jews vote with us. They're evil. How we got to sit here and talk about the censorship of Tucker Carlson. I don't give a shit about these people. I care about who represents us in Washington. And they have literally divided this party where nobody cares. They have done nothing for the conservative movement. Nothing. Except milk it and taken Charlie's legacy and hand it to a little neo-Nazi dipshit. Give me a break. So you know what? I don't want to have millions of viewers. I don't want to be, look what they're doing to Ben Shapiro. I mean, Ben pisses me off sometimes, but they are just completely they will destroy anybody. They don't care. They just want to run their little party of neo-Nazi fucktards, and this is what we've got. This is the new conservative movement. And I'm telling you right now, if this is the new conservative movement, is me having to platform people like Nick Fuentes and pretend that he's not, when Ted Cruz calls him a Nazi and people are like, he's not a Nazi. Did you see Brett Cooper today? Comes out and goes, how dare you call him a Nazi? You're just like a liberal. The guy said he loves Hitler. He loves Stalin. He said he's a Nazi. The guy, you know how many times he's Zig Hailed on his show? Yeah, the only problem about when Democrats call us a Nazis is that we're not Nazis. Fuentes is a fucking Nazi. Kimberly Ann Jergemeyer donating $50. Got your back, Matt. I'm sorry for the language, but what do you expect? How do you expect? We can't even win gracefully. You've got Donald Trump in office, and what are we doing? All of us are calling Trump a freaking Jew lover, and he's being controlled by Russia. You sound just like the liberals. Oh, he's not what I thought. Not what you thought. What did you think? He's doing everything he said he was going to do. Go look at Agenda 47. What are you talking about? Oh, he bombed Iran. Good. Didn't you guys get pissed off that Joe Biden gave Iran pallets full of cash? Funded terrorism? Soleimani went ahead and killed U.S. troops in Bahrain? So he hits the nuclear facilities and sets them back? I thought the whole narrative was that Iran was going to get a nuke. So he puts out unbelievably successful strikes. I thought they were going to start spinning their reactors in 6 months. It's been 6 months. Why isn't Iran spinning their reactors? Why aren't they building a bomb? Oh, because we destroyed them? Oh. And we didn't go to war? Oh. I thought that's what was going to happen. Where did it go? Where's the war with Iran? Oh, it's over? Oh. These people don't know what they're talking about. None of them do. And they just sit here because they've got a platform and they're paid millions a year to be wrong. They're always wrong. They're always wrong. Oh, and sure, they're right about the celebrity gossip. But when it comes to real factual reporting, when it actually goes down to making predictions and standing by it, I will put my record against every one of them. Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro, Nick Fuentes, Megyn Kelly, the Young Turks, hell, even Patrick Bet-David. You know what? I may not be a young man, but young men are overrated. They're flatulent, they're egotistical, they don't know anything. And they may have a game, and he may have a game, but the kid in the end doesn't know shit. Because nobody sat here, you were told, yeah, oof, brutal. Look at that. 12% in, and he's down 9 points. Ciccarelli's going to lose too. Like I told you, it's blue all the way down, up and down, all night long. I'm mad. I have a reason to be mad. You should be too. Why aren't you pissed? Why aren't you pissed? If I hear one more time, oh, I watch this person, don't. And it's not about watching me all the time. Watch somebody else. But this is now the fifth election that we've gotten right. That can't be a coincidence. How many people do you know who've been this right? And it's because we just don't lie to you. Because we get out there and we talk to the people. We sit with the people. We converse with them here watching the show, and we get the pulse of the people. And when you hear the exit polls, the three things that are going to be here is cost of living, abortion, and the shutdown is what lost it in Virginia. And in New Jersey, it's going to be energy is going to be number one. I want to see the full numbers for New Jersey. I want to see the full numbers. Let's go look at that real quick. So I'm a little bit tired of hearing about bee cults. Ciccarelli is just getting annihilated. 62%, 36 with 16% of the vote in. Just getting annihilated. Ocean, Hudson, Essex. Ugh. Oh, they're surrounded by blue. Burlington, yeah, it's early, 16%, but that doesn't look any better. Yeah, I just, it is what it is. It is what it is. Now, remember this. I'm not mad because these states went blue, because we knew I told you they were going to. They're +6s, +20s. It's that New York did not put up a good GOP candidate. We ran the same New Jersey GOP candidate 3 times in a row. If we run Ciccarelli for a 4th time in a row, I'm done with it. And we did not run a primary here, and we did not have a viable candidate. And I hate to say it, but Governor Glenn Youngkin did not have his replacement ready. I watched him watch Sears. And she is so kind and such a nice lady, and I adore her. But I will tell you this. She can't deliver a speech like Youngkin can. And that is so important. How fast do people think Trump can turn the economy around? Well, that's it. This is about the Doge cuts. This is about the federal government cuts. You can't cut 1 million people who all live in this area and not have them turn against you. It's just not going to happen. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but remember what I told you when he made these cuts. I said, this is going to hurt Virginia in the election. This is going to make his coattails very small. Why do you think none of them wanted Trump out here in Virginia? All right. So let's continue to look. I had my tirade. I'm just sick. You know what? And I'm not even mad at the election results as much as I am mad. Could you grab me my blue hat? This one's super tight. My Trumplican or something or anything. Thanks. This one's super, super tight. And I got my head raised today, my ears, and it's rubbing the wrong. What? Thanks, baby. You look good too. Did you already take your shower? You would think that people in New York would have told their children about 9/11. Evidently, they didn't think it was important. Listen, Spanberger in Virginia will not be the worst thing that happens to Virginia. Jack Ciccarelli losing and having Mikey, Cheryl win is not going to destroy New Jersey. Mamdani is going to destroy New York City. Having a socialist in place, that is the threat. Spanberger's going to suck. Cheryl's going to suck. There's no doubt about it. Virginia's going to get redistricted. All of those things are bad. But Mamdani is an absolute abortion of our political system and what it should be and shouldn't be. And the fact that people are embracing socialism terrifies me. We need people who talk like everyday citizens, not just someone who can hold a speech. Seth, you're right. You're right. Governor Glenn Youngkin was that guy. Winsome Sears took a long time to get going. But I stand by this. If Glenn Youngkin was running now, he would have lost too. You're not going to do what happened with Doge and have 1 million people lose jobs in this area and not have them punish you at the polls and not turn out. Look at the turnout in these areas. It was incredible. And this is what I was trying to tell you all. The numbers were incredibly bad. Let's get back over to Mikey. Cheryl is at 63%. Jack Citrulli's at 36.5. Not a lot of red in yet, but I don't think it's going to get much better. You're looking at 18% of the votes counted. They're counting really slow. The vote shift, let's take a look. Not much of a shift in Bergen. Let's look at Newark. That's going to be the big one. 4% gain, 4% loss. Essex, that's huge. That's huge. Plus 9.1 swing for Dems. That's massive. That's one of the reasons he's losing. Unions plus 8.5. These are early. The rest of them haven't come in yet. Yeah, you're looking at a huge swing, almost 73% in New Jersey. All right. So in the end, we'll take a look at Virginia again. Let's see. Polls closed in New Jersey.
Even though less than an hour after polls closed in the Commonwealth of Virginia, Fox News has called this race. We have no sense or declaration of victory yet from the Spanberger folks, or if there has been a call or discussion between the two candidates, or if and when we're going to hear from Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears. All is not lost yet, though, for the Republican ticket. We are still watching to see what happens in that Attorney General race. Typically, it's not a race that you have much attention to when you're covering these gubernatorial races, but it was those violent texts from Jay Jones back in 2022. They came up last month, upended the whole race, put all the Democrats in the state in a tough position to come out with some type of response to it. Spanberger had said, don't like the text, but we can't call on Jay Jones to drop out of the race. So we'll see.
Janet says, from what I'm seeing, New Jersey's 50-49. Where are you seeing those numbers, Janet? That's not even close. He's getting walloped. He's getting absolutely destroyed in New Jersey. It's like 64-35 right now. Yeah, that right there, 63.8, 35.7. He's getting absolutely annihilated.
If Spanberger has won by a margin here as to whether or not she can bring Jay Jones over the finish line, or if Republican incumbent Jason Miyares is going to hang on to his seat. He's been telling people throughout the day, hey, guys, split your ticket. Go ahead, vote for Spanberger, but vote for Miyares, too.
Larry, watch the beginning of the show. I answered all these things already.
Jesse?
All right, Rich, thank you so much. Now, Sandra Smith has the Fox News voter polls from Virginia that could give us an idea why Spanberger won. So specifically, Sandra, what are you seeing that moved Virginia voters?
She carried key groups by significant margins, really, Jesse.
Watch,
as far as the
watch
strengths
women.
that we're seeing show up.
Watch women.
College voters, those with
Shit.
a college degree
She carried
in
black
Virginia. She garnered 60% of their vote. She got the youth vote, 67% of it. 9 out of 10 black voters in Virginia
Brutal.
Cast their ballot for
Brutal
Spanberger.
on the black vote.
I'll also show you what we're seeing.
Show me
is
women.
appearing to be a pretty big gender gap in Virginia.
Yeah. Show me
in
the
this
women.
race.
It's got to be 70%.
For women,
Okay,
they
61.
supported Spanberger.
That's
about
why she lost.
24-point
Like I called.
margin that went to Spanberger.
Watch men.
The male vote in Virginia, Winsome
It's not a big enough
Sears
gap.
did get
So
that vote.
once
There's
again,
about
it came down to she's black, and it came down that women didn't relate to her. That's it. Men did not show up. Men should be sitting at 65, 66% like they did for Trump. You can't have that deficit. Once again, I told you women were breaking for Spanberger. That's just absolutely brutal. Brutal.
point spread there, but you're looking at what adds up to be about a 32-point age gap in Virginia. Lastly, I'll show you this. We know the federal workers in Virginia, we are watching closely, affected by those federal cuts. Well, for those who said when they cast their vote that they were a federal employee, worried about those cuts, obviously.
There it is.
They cast their vote for Spanberger.
I need to go. I need to do. I have to find a way
really
to get to do this for a living, where I don't know. Like at this point, I'm really good at this, and I gotta do something with it. I know I'm doing something with it, but like, I've got to be able to help more. There's got to be something I could do that would help more, because this is infuriating. How long do you think it will take New York to start seeing the socialist disaster? Well, the first thing it's going to be doing is that New York City will change its policies on crime. Stop and frisk, or any type of racial profiling, which there is no racial profiling, but Supreme Court loosened some of these restrictions. You'll see progressive DAs win. You'll see people like Letitia James and Bragg will be empowered to be more progressive. Once that takes place and crime increases, you'll see that they'll put Jeffrey Stiles donated $5 for Super Chat. Wish I could do more. Thank you. No, Jeff, it's enough. Thank you so much. If you take a look at when those progressive DAs will get in, cashless bail, all that other type of stuff kicks in, and they stop holding these people accountable for crime, you'll start seeing that they're going to replace officers, very similar to Oregon. It'll be social caseworkers instead of cops. People will de-escalate, will be the word, non-lethal force will be used for some of the most vile crimes. Then that will turn into lowering small businesses and hurting them based upon crime increasing in the area. You'll see these businesses leave. The cost of living would then go up, as it always does when crime increases, and just exponentially, it'll just get worse and worse. And what you would need to see is a limitation of programs and government spending, but that won't happen. What will happen is that in order to band-aid these situations, they will try to see the public turning, and Democrats do what they always do by pouring more money in the problem versus solving the issue. They'll try to band-aid it. They'll bring in new reform policy. Maybe they'll do free mass transit, or start doing insurance for illegals. Happy Face Paints donate $10 because truth is always important, even when it isn't what we want to hear. Thank you. That means that right there makes it worth it. Right there. Oh yeah, Jones and Myers. I'll check that race in a second, Janet. Hold on one second. But that's what's going to happen. Yep. Trump said he will not give money to NYC if Mamdani wins. Will this help at all? Will it stop the destruction? No. It's going to drive more of a wedge, because taxes are going to increase. He's going to try to propose things that he can't legislate and control. A mayor doesn't have unfettered access to just give the bus transits for free. He can't increase wages. He can't create free grocery stores. He needs legislators to do so. Really, New York can be saved with one fell swoop, that Elise Stefanik goes in there and beats Hochul. If that happens, that's the only thing that's going to help the state, because the state can literally pinch the mayor's balls and rip them off if she wants to. But in order for that to happen, they're going to have to get a really bad taste from Mamdani in their mouth in the next year and a half. So Elise Stefanik can take the governorship. In fact, I think the governorship's up next year, so they don't have a year and a half. So, yeah, I'm doing New York City. Mamdani's going to mop the floor. Alexandra, it's over in New York. But I can go into it as soon as the polls close at 9 o'clock. We're doing a commercial break right now. Let's go into the Myaris one more time, and take a look at that, because some people are saying that that's close. But there's my answer on that. Yeah, and as far as running, it's all in the state constitution. That's absolutely right. Yeah, Christine's right. And you can also go to your .gov website, and the state government will have requirements for what it is elective office. Most of it is an age requirement, U.S. citizenship, state citizenship, living in the county or district that you're in, depending upon what you're running for, or living in the city or municipality. It varies, but most of them are pretty consistent that you would think. Age, American citizenship, living in that city, paying taxes for a certain period of time, no criminal record, those type of things. Well, you're not going to see New York because Alexander, New York hasn't closed yet. No numbers are going to be here. They legally can't release numbers until the polls close. You can't do that because there's still people voting, and you could dissuade the vote. It's a form of intimidation. It's illegal in every state. You can't release those. You can release exit polling, but you can't do any of the major polls. Let's go into some of this stuff real quick and see. I'm just letting you know New York's done. That's it. Okay, so you're looking at 52% of the votes in Mayeris, and Jay Jones has gotten a lot tighter. Now, this is interesting. Thank you so much, Janet, for telling me that. That's a really cool number. Hashmi and John Reed are actually coming back together, which is interesting. Still separated. I mean, there's a lot of, let's see. Oh, yeah, only 49% of Fairfax in, 96% of Loudoun, 95% of Prince William, 45. I'm going to do the math in my head, so bear with me. Just let me work this. 46%. There's 30,000 votes there. There's 2,000 votes there. That's 47,000. That's 67,000. Oh, my God. You've got a good 70 there. 200,000. 205. 212. 216, 220. Yeah, here's your problem. See all these red counties? Most of them are in. All these big red counties are pretty much in. These aren't. These lower southern ones are all, this little belt right here is actually not all in. 60%, but they don't have the numbers. No, they don't have the numbers for these. 91%. 99%. No, it's over. Myers is going to lose. Spotsylvania. Orange is in 98%. Rockingham is in. They don't have the votes out. Now, there is a lot of red out here, but most of these are all in. Do you see how they're all nickels and dimes? 7,000, 2,000, 10,000, 15,000. But here, you're 67% in. Right here, you've got another, that's 27,000. You have a total of 50,000 votes. You have another 25,000 votes out. Norfolk's only 52% in, and you've got another 30,000 votes out. 93%, that one's pretty much toast. 58% in Suffolk, and that's got another 58%, so that's got about 16,000 votes out. Chesterfield, it's only 47%, and you got 80,000 votes out for Democrats, and they're breaking too strong. This is good for Mayeris because it's close. This isn't. 38% in, and you've got 75,000 votes out. This is 22% in, and you've got 38,000 votes in a blue area out. This is 96. That's good. Prince William's good. That's amazing. But you still have 10,000 votes out. You have 5% out. 4%'s here, and you still got 10,000 votes out. This is a killer. Fairfax, it's the biggest county in Virginia, and you're talking there's right now it's only 60% in. So you've got another, let's see, a total of 250. So 60, you got another 210,000 votes out. And that's all going for, like, all those votes pretty much take up all this red. It's over. Is Virginia light blue or purple? Light blue. Oh, almost dark blue. After tonight, almost dark blue. It depends what happens in the 6. It's really going to depend what happens in the 6 seats that are up. But right now, it is most assuredly light blue moving to dark blue. It's not purple. So, and it wasn't purple in 2023. And one of the reasons why Youngkin did not run after 2023 is because we got shellacked in the House and we lost the House. Remember, that's also a bellwether to what was going to happen tonight. So Virginia is probably going to be maybe not dark blue, but it's definitely light blue, if not close to dark blue. But Mayeris, I don't think he has the votes. Remember, I did this with Kerry Lake. Kerry Lake was very close. The longer this goes on into the night, he's going to separate. I don't think there's enough votes out there for him to catch up. I could be wrong, But right now he's got a 23,000 vote deficit, 56% of the votes in, but a lot of that vote is sitting in Fairfax. Yeah, exactly. Like they just called Hash Me. They just called Hash Me. John Reed lost, and he went up losing by almost 10%, 9%, 7.5%. Excuse me. So Hash Me just got called. They'll call Maris here. It's gonna be a close race, but oh yeah, Jay Jones just gained 30,000 votes. Now it's just gonna go like this because I just did the math in my head. When you've been doing it this long, you can just do it in your head. But I just walked you through all the counties. You saw that. And I might be off 20,000 votes here or there. It doesn't matter at this point. Does that make sense? Why is Grok saying that Mondani won? Because Mondani won. Well, Mondani didn't win. Okay, first of all, New York's still open. New York polls haven't closed, y'all. Okay? So New York's not done. But I'm telling you, New York's done. Okay? So looking at my IRS, I think it's going to be close. I think it's probably within 5 points margin of error. But I don't have a lot of... Yeah, News just called it for Jones. Yeah, I figured they would. I figured it was close. Because there's too many votes out. There's just too many votes in the blue areas. Like I just showed it to you. I counted them for you. He has like 125,000 votes that he can't account for. Folks, I've been doing this too long. I've been doing this for 44 years of my life has been dedicated to studying elections. I love it. It's my Super Bowl. I'm good at it. I love doing it. And when you start getting used to these counties, you just know how they break. You know how many numbers there are. I live in this stuff. This is what I do. This is one of my favorite things to do in the world. I'm not excited. I'm excited that we're right. I'm not excited with the result. George Thomas, live. So have they called Jones now? Let's go find out. Folks, I'm going to take a break because we got to keep funding the show. George Thomas needs to be banned. Living Patriot. I'm sorry, guys. I'm losing hope for our country because Republicans never stick together and actually vote and fight for our country. Call me a Debbie Downer, but I am sick of Republicans not voting and fight. Dude, nothing would have saved these elections. I said it before. These are D6, D6, and D20 areas. We were never supposed to win these. The Youngkin was a generational candidate. He was a Kennedy. That's why he needs to run for president. The same thing will happen. It's not absolutely depressing. There are still more red areas than there are blue areas. We didn't lose anything. New York is still going to be with a horrible human being. So's New Jersey, and Virginia loses. We lost Youngkin, but Youngkin was leaving anyway. And the chances of Virginia, I told you, in off-year elections, the party out of power always wins in Virginia. It's just the way it is. It's how Virginia has always been. Virginia is eclectic in its way. Yep. Carrie, I already called all of them. I already said that. Jay Jones has already been called. Hashmi has already been called. It's over. Yeah, it's over. Folks, I got to do a commercial because we really have to continue to drive goal because I want to stay on the whole time. But we're getting towards 2 hours in, and right now we're at 289.69. We really appreciate it. If you like the coverage, you're like, wow, this is better than Fox, because it is. Wow, this is better than CNN, because it most assuredly is. Help us out. 10-1 school referendum might win. We'll talk about that when we get back. Be right back. Folks, please, if you haven't had a chance, go to thedumbshow.com/donate. Doesn't matter whether it's $1, $10, $100, whatever it is. It helps keeps our show going, and it would mean the absolute world to us if you have the ability. We know times are tight, so please don't put yourself out. But if you have a little bit extra and you're like, you know what, I'm done buying Starbucks coffee, or I don't have Netflix anymore, we want to help out the Dumb Show, you can do that. We take PayPal, we take credit cards, we take Venmo, we take Apple Pay, we take debit cards, whatever you got. It's all under a secure network. We have now had over 10,000 donations to the show. all secure, and we appreciate it. You guys keep us going and keep the lights on. We're never paid for by the DNC or RNC. We are 100% free and clear, and we just tell you the truth. We'll be right back. Quick commercial, pee break for those who need to, and then we've got a hell of a lot more show to go. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Olivia Spear, host of The Dumb Show. For 3.5 years, we never asked for donations, but after Facebook demonetized us for speaking the truth, we've had to turn to the one thing big tech can't cancel: you.
I'm Hayden, Matt and Olivia's daughter. This show's never chased sponsors or sold out. We've built something honest, and it's thanks to you.
I'm Ethan, their son. Every share, every dollar, every message, you're the reason we can keep calling out the BS and bringing color back to the world going gray.
If you want to help, we take PayPal, Venmo, or snail mail. You can send it to P.O. Box 2, Round Hill, Virginia 20142.
Can't donate? No problem. Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored. You can donate at thedumbshow.com/donate.
You know what happens when you turn the dial harder? You can make a harder grimace. The harder you grimace, the more effective it is.
You tighten it so freaking I can't do it. I can't untighten it.
That's what she said.
That's what she's... Oof. Oof. Coming in with it. Pound it. Pound it. Pound.
Child gets 15.
Ethan, you look like a hippie.
Told the YouTube you will.
You know this is recording, right?
Okay, let's go. Smile. Donate. Don't start with me. Donations. Every time you don't smile, I'm going to punch you in the ribs. Donations. Take one. Scene one. Ready. Set. Ethan.
Break.
Ready. Don't screw it up.
Okay.
Ethan, don't mess this up. Ready. Set. Action. No. Whoa. Director calls action, not some stupid toddler.
But we've built something
There's no but there. Why do you've been doing this since you were 2 years old. Try it again.
Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
He's so much better than you at everything.
He's better at
Hayden, he's just like, even, it's just, go ahead, Hayden.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored.
That's a wrap. Well done, Spear family. I bet we make no money.
But I'm gonna owe them money without.
Hayden, do your thing again.
Oh yeah, cut it.
Baby shark, doo 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 doo.
Yes, we absolutely appreciate all your help, and thank you so much for supporting the show. If you guys have not had a chance, please help us out. You can also go to the Dumb Show, pick up some coffee, or shirts or hats or anything else. We sell a whole bunch of great stuff over there. And the one thing we get, everyone's like, wow, it's a good show, but they love the stuff we sell. I mean, I can't tell you how many people come back and they're like, dude, it is one of the most comfortable shirts, t-shirts I've ever owned. It's one of the most comfortable hoodies. I love the blankets. Your coffee is ridiculous on a French press. This is not a joke. Go look at us. We are actually one of the highest rated retail shops online. We have a diamond rating. We have a gold and platinum transparency for even our bad reviews, which we don't have many. We go ahead and display. And I think we have almost 500 certified 5-star reviews on our show, or on our show site at thedumbshow.com/donate. Go over and get something. There's some great stuff, great shirts, some Charlie Kirk memorabilia over there. Get the Constitution over there, the Bill of Rights. You can get the Documents of Freedom over there. There's a whole bunch of great stuff over there. Go take a look. Folks, my good friend Barry Morgenstein with this wonderful book right here, The Rock and Soul, was just released today. Some of the greatest pictures of rock and roll idols and heroes in the industry. My good friend Barry put us in the back of the book, put the Don't Unfriend Me show and some of the work that we did. We helped with a few things on the book, which was just, it was our pleasure. We absolutely loved it. And that's that. So, folks, please help us out if you haven't had a chance. We want to really cover New York, and we want to maybe even stay on for California. But we've got to drive our goal, and we got to hit it. So if you haven't had a chance to help out, please do. I guess Spanberger is talking. I will get to that here in a second. If they play that, I really don't care what she has to say. What will Sears do now in Michigan? John James ran for governor, lost, then ran for his Senate seat. I think this is a pretty massive defeat. I think Winsome Sears is done with politics. I don't think she's going to run and win in anything else. Cheryl is just destroying Ciccarelli. This doesn't surprise me. Here is, like I said, if there was anything that was going to be close, it was that. I still predicted him to lose this. Here is Spanberger and her speech.
We're also watching results in New Jersey, where it's too early to call. And we're also waiting for polls to close in about 20 minutes in New York City. Fox News correspondent Alexis McAdams joins us live from Mamdani headquarters in Brooklyn. What's up, Alexis?
Hey, Jesse. Yeah, so here in Brooklyn is where it all kind of started for Zoran Mamdani. It was only last year that people said, who is that? They didn't even shake his hand on the street when he was trying to launch his campaign here in this borough. And now he's got quite the following, not just in New York City, but across the country, as depending on who you ask, they think he could be the future of the Democratic Party. So here in Brooklyn, we are waiting again for those polls to close, and the excitement does continue to build. We've had some music on and off. The crowd is starting to fill in. They think they're going to have about 3,000 people inside of this theater out here tonight in New York City. The things that Zoran Mamdani ran on that got him to this point, Jesse, are simple.
Seth, I've been talking about running. It's funny. I sat down at the head table. At Tammy's Diner, there is a table that the elite, powerful of our small little town sit at, and I joke, I kid, everyone knows that's not true. Tammy's watching right now, but we were talking about it. I would not be good in a government position as a politician. I don't have the capability. I don't know how to bullshit and lie to people. I don't do that. And I think my frustrations would overflow because I would not have the ability to get things done. I'm not a team player. I don't believe in team players unless you're on a team environment. You know, I never quite understood that. Like if you're playing football, you got to be on a team environment. But if you've got 20 district managers and all in different states, I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing right. I'm just not going to do it. And the only way I am is if it benefits me. Because my district is important. I'm all about my district first, like America first. So I'm not a team player in that way. I don't wait for other people because they disappoint me. So I do it myself. It's a little bit different on the Dumb Show because this isn't a team. This is family. My wife, Amy, Leroy, these are family. You guys are family. But politicians, I have no desire to trade ponies with people. I know how ugly it is. I know how it's difficult to get things done. I appreciate that, but there are people who are better than me, and there's a guy named John Fugue who I absolutely love, who is kind of like a little bit of a mentor of mine, and he runs a distillery and is a very successful man in construction, huge influence, and he would be awesome. And I told him I'd run his campaign for him. What I need to do is I need to be a political analyst, or I need to. Oh man, I can't believe this guy. Political analyst, or I need to start running campaigns for people. I've thought about running for mayor of this town, but I don't know. I don't know. It's a small town. Maybe. I don't know. I really enjoy it. I love this. I love what you guys do. I love hitting goal too. So guys, we got to try to get to it. There's a lot of people watching right now, even if it's $1. We want to try to stay ahead. I can't stay on for 6 hours and do $300 like we do every night. I just can't do it. It's too much money to stream this. And we've got a full week to go. So we're hoping we can get somebody to come in and help out and say, hey, you know what? It's not a great night. It's not good news, but at least Matt didn't lie to us and bullshit us and try to string us along. New York is going to be closing in 16 minutes. I have a feeling that's going to be a very quick call. And even though there's going to be probably 1.75 million votes, it's going to be very, very clear that it's not going to be able to overcome the mail-in. And let's be honest, there's a shite ton of Democrats who voted today, and they don't use voter ID. Look at this. Oh, God, just embracing a freaking Muslim socialist in New York. And I'm usually not big on that talk. You know, when people are like, oh, he's a socialist Muslim. Like, they're like, Spanberger's socialist. No, she's not. She's a moderate Democrat, and she's shit. And, oh, Mikey Sherrill is a socialist. No, she's not. She's a moderate Democrat, and she's shit. Mamdani is a absolute 100% Jew-hating, Muslim extremist, socialist dick, and is going to absolutely AOCify New York. Seth, it's not about working my way up. If I ran for state senate and I could run it my way, if I could run for state legislature and run it my way, but I wouldn't be able to run it my way. I'd have to kiss ass to the GOP. I'd have to raise $1.5 million for state legislature. I'd have to raise $10 million for senator. And then I would have to go and jerk the party line. And I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to. No, I have no desire. Dude, I've already played that game. I played that game in Wyoming when I helped a governor's race, when I helped city council races, state legislature races. I flirted with it with Brandon Michon, and I realized I've lost my taste for it. I'll be a campaign manager. But the one rule is you'll shut up and listen to me. And if you don't do what I say, I quit. And people they won't listen. And I realized this when I decided to get into the private industry and small business, and I would come in as a corporate exec and I would tell them, this is what we need to do. And they would see great results, and then they would not listen to me anymore. And I'm like, okay, I'm leaving. I have no desire to do that with a candidate. You know, that's it. New York's going to be closing soon. Let's go ahead and look at some of the other races. Yeah, don't give anyone any money who calls or text messages you. Don't listen to those people. Let me go into any of the other Virginia numbers and see if they've called any of these. Yeah, C.J. Jones is starting to pull away. Remember what I told you? The more that comes in, the bigger the gap's going to be. I'm predicting about 5% to about 6.5% delta between Jones and Mayeris, and that would line up with just about all the other races that I saw. That's going to be called soon. Is the Republican Party in trouble? No, Frost, not at all. No. You guys, look at this. This is why. Look at this. Right here. The whole race was right here. $10 million right here. There it is. Like I told you, this quadrant, and it would be all about the government employees. And don't forget Richmond. Don't forget down here. Chesterfield, Henrico, Richmond City, just 81%. It's just an absolute ass kicking. Just an ask. And so Frost, no, it's not in trouble. The Republican Party is in trouble in blue areas because these blue areas are democratically ran metropolises, and this was a D6, which means Democrat +6 Virginia, a Democrat +6 New Jersey, and a New York City +20. This month, you think these races are bad? Mamdani's race is going to be a fucking bloodbath. I mean, it is going to be it's going to be prison rape. No, Seth, I'm not coming down. I'm just telling you what's on my mind. I appreciate, dude, your vote of confidence. It means the world to me, and I really appreciate it. And when people tell me it makes me feel so special. Like, it means the world to me that people would even think that I would be good in public office. And I truly, truly appreciate it. I'm just telling you what I'm thinking, you know? And I'm thinking, I don't want that life, you know? I love my family, and I know what would happen. And what would happen is they'll destroy you. They'll destroy you. And that's what they do. And the first thing I would do if I ever ran is I'd hold a press conference. And I would say, here's what I'm going to run on. Now, here is a list of all the things I have done in my life that I am not proud of. Here's all the things that I was hesitant to tell my wife in my life, and here they are for you. Just lay it on the line. And if you still want me to run, great, because that's all you're going to find. Talk about my drug use. Talk about CPS coming to my house. Talk about the way I treated people in the workplace. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Brenna. Donated $10. That means the world. Thank you. $2.99.69. We're almost where we are in a normal 3-hour night. So thank you. Yes, Ciccarelli is going to lose. Bad. Yeah. I said if there was any race that was going to be close, to be that. And I called that he was going to lose that too. How many has New York lost since COVID? 2.5 million. What do they stand to lose if Mondani wins? GNP, productivity. What did Venezuela have to lose when they went to socialism? They were producing what, 3.7 billion barrels of oil annually, and now they barely do 700,000. They started eating zoo animals. That's not a lie. They started eating out of garbage cans. They started shooting people in the back of the head and lining them up in the outside of their house and killing them. Is it going to be that severe? No, but thank God there's like 27 zoos in New York, because the problem with socialism is that you can't tax people into prosperity, and businesses will leave. It'll become a Detroit. New York City will turn into Detroit overnight. Detroit was one of the most richest and most powerful cities in the United States. And what happened? They turned blue. They started overspending. They started taxing their people, trying to tax them into prosperity. Businesses left. They fled. They weren't competitive. They weren't innovative. The automotive industries didn't advance fast enough. They didn't get into newer technology. They didn't get into chip technologies for smart cars and things to that effect. They didn't get into fuel-efficient vehicles, and they kept making gas guzzlers. So they left. They downsized. They went to Mexico. Detroit is a shithole. New York the same thing will happen in New York, is people will no longer leave. They'll flee. They'll go to Florida. They'll go to Texas. Even though Texas is saying they're going to impose a 100% tariff. But there's going to be a mass exodus for New York. The windfall in taxes will be placed upon the residents there. The middle class will get absolutely strangled. The rich elitists will not pay anything because they will bribe their way into not having to do it and use tax code to circumvent whatever type of penalties they put against them. Or they'll just leave New York, and then the middle class will get strangled for it. This is what happened in California. It's what happened in Oregon. It happened in Venezuela. It happened in Cambodia. It happened in Laos. It happened in Vietnam. It happened in Hong Kong. It'll happen everywhere. It's what just happens. No, James, I didn't see anything of that. Will the New York Stock Exchange move? Not a whole bunch. No, because these aren't national positions, and you might see some ebbs and flows, but overall, you shouldn't see a huge flop in the markets. Yep. Same with Pittsburgh Steel. Yeah, absolutely, Paul. Pittsburgh was a huge. American Steel was massive. Steel and aluminum were massive. Now look at it. You can't get aluminum in the United States. It's all overseas. It's all imported for phones made in China. If you ever want to invest in a quick 6-month stock, sell aluminum January to June, buy in July and August, because Apple's going to release a phone and your aluminum stock's going to go, then sell, short it. Yeah, I don't think the stock market's going to crash. Not for this. Presidential elections have a lot to do with that, but not local. New York might see a little splash. Jay Jones, 51% to 48. What's that? The higher it goes, 69% in. Like I told you, it's now 3%. It's going to be about 5.5, 6% is what I'm predicting. And that was math in my head when I counted all the counties up. I could be off by 10,000 votes, but it won't matter at this level because there's already been 1.34 million votes. Excuse me, 2.3 million votes in this thing. 10,000 votes won't. It's 2.2 percentage points. Who cares? So that's that. All right. We have dried up on the donation front. So I just may call it a night. Paul Rivera, $20. You've been saying it leading up tonight. Blue candidates winning blue areas. Well done, brother. Yep. That's just it. All right, that helped out a little bit. 319.69. Sorry, folks. It's a tough night. This is bad news. Nobody wants to donate during bad news. It's kind of like Donald Trump night. Oh my God. I think we did like $1,500 in donations. People were so happy, but this sucks. This sucks. And you don't need me to stay on and tell you all this shit. I'm going to stay on for at least New York till they come in. But Jay Jones is going to win any minute now. Yeah, the fund's all gone, but I'm still working. 3.6%, 70% of the vote in. Like I said, he's just 0.1% every percent that goes in. This is just the bleeding now. This is the arterial bleed. This is a stomach wound. Matt breaks bad news. I do. I will take a look, James. Yeah, listen, I broke the bad news this morning. I broke it yesterday. You got to remember, my predictions I had in, what, the 27th of October? 28th? That's what I said. No, the 25th, I said. Melissa Tittle, we have to hold our heads high. $25. Yes, they're blue states, guys. We weren't going to win these things. I've been telling you this. I've been telling you this for 3 weeks. I told you that Winsome Sears was running a shit campaign 3 months ago. And I laid out what she needed to do. She did all of it. It is what it is. All right. So to recap, Hashmi, Lieutenant Governor, has been called. Abigail Spanberger wins governor spot. Jay Jones, it's a matter of time. He's already won. Mayeris he's done. He just doesn't know it yet. He's a dead man walking. Jersey, a little bit better. Some of the red counties are coming in, and that's going to happen. I mean, it's not going to be a 20-point with Cicerelli. I don't think it's going to be 20 points. I think it's going to be close to 15, 12, 15. Maybe not when all's said and done, but we'll see. But right now, those numbers seem to be coming a little bit back down to earth. 57% to 41.9. Independents are doing absolutely nothing for the election. Let's see what's coming in here. That's good. Monmouth is not good enough. Nope. He needs to win this by 50,000 votes at least. He's not even close. He's winning that at 20,000, 19,000 votes. That is not good. That's one of the main reasons why Mikey Sherrill is so dominant right now. That's good on Ocean. Ocean's good. 62% in. He's on pace to win what he's supposed to there. I'd like to see 70%, but 65 is good. That's going to hold fast. This is not good. Monmouth should be an absolute behemoth for him. And it's not. 53% is not good enough. He needs to be running 65%. He needs to be up by 40,000, 50,000 votes by this time. And it's at 74%. That's why he's losing this election. By a considerable amount, because this is why. Because she did 75% in Essex, 75% in Hudson, 60%, little underperforming. Nope, actually that's not. She's doing fine in Bergen, 66% in Union, 55% in Huntington. That's not enough. Trenton is, can't get the number. Burlington, 65%. Camden, 72%. 53%. There's a lot left out here. You've got a couple red trickles, but this is the killer. He's got to be overproducing in Monmouth. See how it's light red? That's not good. He needs that to be arterial blood red. It's not. And 74% of the vote, that means that all of these that are sitting here, 46%, 52%, 61%. Remember, we just taught you this with the Mayeris race. These aren't in yet. 35%, 61%, 56%, 20%, 57%, 39%. And look, his big dogs, 71% and 74%. He's going to get obliterated. So there's that race. Okay. 745,000 votes, 56 to 561. Remember what I told you? He needed 40,000 votes in that one, which was here at Monmouth. Should be up by 50,000 votes. Well, if he's up by 50,000 votes, what does that put him? That puts him at 610,000 to 745. Still 135,000 votes shy. And most of his big counties are in. He's cooked. He's cooked. It's not good news. I'm not trying to give you good news. I'm not trying to give you bad news. I'm just giving you the news. I'm giving you the truth. Let's see what Fox has to say. Maybe Mondani fell down an escalator or something. I don't know. Let's see what they have to say. Oh, Hannity. Ugh.
Turnout for a New York City mayoral race in 30 whopping years. Democratic candidate Zoran, as we affectionately call him, Comrade Marxist Mamdani, is leading in his race against former New York Governor Andrew
Listen,
Cuomo,
I hate to
who
break
is
it to
running.
people, but the midterms are going to be a battle anyway. If a president enters first year or second term with House, they usually lose it. The House usually is taken away from a president. So the only hope that, honestly, Republicans have to win the House in 2026, I'm just letting you know right now, is to redistrict every single red state and do exactly what they're doing in Virginia and for every single Democrat district that there is. That's how you do it. If they want to play this game, do it. Play it. Do it. Once again, now look at those 50,000 votes, because that puts you at 620. Yeah, they're going to call this soon. Yeah, 41% in. I think you're probably going to see it called at 65%. I think that's enough to, honestly, it should be called now, but they're not going to do it. They're going to hold on to New Jersey. Fox News is going to wait because that was kind of the one that they said was going to be so close, and it's winding up going to be the biggest blowout out of them all. New Jersey's blue, folks. It's +6. It's just like Virginia. I've told you guys this. Bobby Richardson, $20.10. Yay, thanks, Bobby. For Free Oregon, love you, Matt, and thank you for all of this. No, it's my pleasure, hon. Listen, I appreciate you guys. I hate the bad news. I wish I could give you some good news tonight. There won't be any. There you go. They're going to call this soon. Let's listen to what
New
Randy
Jersey,
has to
where
say.
the gubernatorial race is still too close to call at this hour. It's so fascinating about New Jersey is that polls have never shown anything but a close race in spite of this massive
It's because you always get it wrong. And polling data is archaic. Nobody uses the phone anymore. You're talking about an older generation. An older generation is going to be old school 50-50 split. You got to get the younger generation. The only way you're going to do that is doing polling online. Do volunteer in polling. Have people come in, leave their email address. Go ahead and leave their age, their party, and volunteer, and have them go ahead and do that. Do IP-based voting and secure login voting, and have them come in and run a sample. You want to go ahead and get true feelings? Run a contest where you have to verify your address. And once your address is verified, you're taken out of any future polling. You want to get good numbers? That's how you poll. Get rid of pollsters who set up fake questions and called the same damn people over and over and over. Your polling methods suck. And this is why I tried to tell people this is the closest one. If you remember, go back to the beginning of the show, I said the New Jersey one's going to be supposed to be the closest, so that's probably going to be the biggest blowout. There you go. There you go. Don't listen to polling places. They don't know what they're talking about. Every single pollster in 2020 was wrong. We were right. 2022, they were wrong. We were right. 2023, 24, they were wrong. We were right. We predicted the popular vote with Trump, all 7 swing states with Trump. We predicted the gubernatorial. We predicted the House flipping. We predicted the Senate flipping. We predicted all of it. Why did we do that? Because we didn't listen to the polls. Because they're always wrong. Don't listen to the polls. Listen to the people who do this right. Sean Hannity's, I don't know what happened. You listen to the polls, you knucklehead. All right, we've got some numbers in for New York. Let's get going. Let's go, because this is the one. Let's just rip this Band-Aid off. Let's put the women and children to bed and go looking for dinner.
Watch Sliwa's number here as I tick on out here to the borough of.
I'm trying to get it back, folks. Come on, Fox. Oh, God, I hate this. All right, I'm just going to listen
Of
to
the
this.
Democrat vote here in New York City. Let me come off of that. And before I pop around here, let me just see right here, okay? Mamdani holding right now with a 12-point advantage here in New York. Give you a sense of what's happening here in the 5 boroughs, all right? You ready? Population, 8.5 million. We dropped 4% between the years 2020 and 2024. You got the highest median
The gap
income.
is not closing
the
between
highest
Jones. Wait a second. What? What do you mean the gap is closing between Jones? I just showed that it was expanding. Hold on. I don't think he has. I counted the numbers. It doesn't look right to me. No, it's not. It's expanding. It's now 60, 70,000 votes. It was just 20, 30,000. He's 5.1. He's 1.1 plus 1.5. He's 2.6% in the lead. My prediction is it ends at 5 to 6.5. He's pulling away. 74% of the votes in. I think he's toast. I don't think he has the votes left to win. I don't think there's any path to victory yet. And that was a guesstimate, but I'm pretty damn confident in it. Oh, fudge. All right, I got to watch this. I'm done with Virginia for now until I can see something that means anything to me.
Black, because a few, like 15 minutes ago, it was 18, then it popped down to 15, and it was 16. Right now, we're at 13 points here. And I was talking earlier on Jesse's show about all the blue you're seeing down in southern New Jersey. Maybe it stays that way. Maybe it doesn't. But 12 months ago, this was all red. Donald Trump over Kamala Harris, and we'll see whether or not that fills in. Passaic County is now checked in, all right? We had 0 data in until now. They're checking in with 38%. Mikey Sherrill, an early lead, 20 points in Passaic. Why is that important? Go back 4 years, and we'll go ahead and compare what Jack Chitterelli did in Passaic with Phil Murphy. All right, he lost the county, but he only lost it by a little less than 4 points. And
which
right now,
means that Ciccarelli is underperforming where he was.
That stands out. Pop on down to Morris County. Haven't seen data until right now. Sean, you got 24% of the vote coming in. Chitterelli now hanging on to a 1-point advantage.
Not enough.
What happens in Morris County? Morristown is there. That's where Air Force One flies in to go play golf at Bedminster 4 years ago. Chitterelli against Murphy. All right, he won Morris County by 11 points, and that's Sean. That's part of the reason why we have not made a call in New Jersey, because we think, frankly, there's not enough votes out in the parts of the state that make a difference. Morris County could indeed be one of them. I'll pop out here to Virginia and just show
not 13%.
Abigail Spanberger, with 3/4 of the vote counted right now, has almost a 12-point margin over Winsome Earl Sears.
It's
you
huge.
look at Northern
Remember what I told you about Virginia? I said,
time,
if you don't win by
really
10%, it's a loss.
Right up here across from Washington, D.C., pop into Fairfax County, number 1 out of 133. Virginia's so interesting. 95 counties and 38 different city counties. They call them cities. Each have their own government, their own police department, their own fire department.
Welcome to the Commonwealth. Folks, we have raised $365.79. Listen, on a bad news night, that's amazing. I really want to just try to hit that 4, and we'll call it a night. New York's going to come in fairly quickly. A lot of these bigger areas, it's a city. They'll get these precincts in quick, and there's like 40 some odd or more. But they'll come in fairly quickly. Virginia, I still, once again, I'm predicting blue all the way up and down. Karen says 1. Mamdani won New York City, unfortunately. They already called it. I had a feeling. I told you it was going to be fast. It's going to be super fast. It's a city. Let's see. I'm going to wait for the official call, but like I said, I told you New York was going to take 3 minutes. It took 9. 10. Yeah, look at those numbers. 36% in. It's over. It's over. It's going to be there. Spanberg. Okay. Yeah, this is a bloodbath. I told you. Do you remember when I told you that this could be an early night? It's an early night. Virginia should have been called 15 minutes in. New Jersey is still there, but it's just a matter of time. The Mayeris race, it has some potential, but I don't see the path to victory there. So I'm just waiting for them to call Mamdani. It should happen any second now. So let's pump this up. Let's go.
2.4 million foreign born, 48%. Languages spoken in Queens alone. 160
Hey, CJ, thank you.
Languages.
Prayers for all young ladies in these states. Head on a swivel, ladies. Yeah, ain't that the truth, CJ? Good call. Yes. Especially our college students, our high school students.
Are in that neighborhood or on that street to find that. I just saying, very interesting to study New York for the past 2 months, really. Queens has got a third of the vote counted.
Do I want to make people throw up?
33%. Mamdani.
You want me to make you throw up? If Sliwa wasn't in this race, it'd be tied. Because out of Sliwa, probably 2% would go to Mamdani. That would put him at like 50. And then you got 9 point. Yeah, you're talking 48 for Cuomo. That's pretty much a tie. Sliwa. Listen, Cuomo, Zoran Mamdani, shit in one hand, shit in the other, and see which one fills up first. But Sliwa didn't help this race at all. The fact that Cuomo got 39%, that's actually good. That's actually a good number. Sliwa should have dropped out. Oh, God, why does it do this?
Also in the outer boroughs, when they talk about outer boroughs, they're talking about how far are you from the island of Manhattan. And down in the eastern edges of Brooklyn and the eastern edges of Queens, Cuomo did quite well, as he did in Staten Island also. So 38% in, we're hanging on to...
Janet, why do I get the throw up symbol? What did I do? Thanks for broadcasting this for us, explaining everything. Much appreciated. No problem. Carrie, I love doing it. I wish I could give you guys some better news.
Alan, when I look at most of the numbers in most of the boroughs you're talking about, if you combine Curtis's numbers and Andrew Cuomo's numbers, you're still not making Mamdani numbers, are you?
No, but it's a closer race.
Overall, 40 and 8. All right, that's 48. Mamdani's at 51. Yeah. Okay, all right, you want to do? We can play the game. I think it's very interesting. 39-11. Do quick math, right? That's almost 50%. Okay. That's great at what Mamdani is doing there in the Bronx.
Do you see how Bill does
here
this?
In
I
Queens,
love that because that's what I try
Brooklyn,
to do. Now look at
60%, easily outpaces the combination of Sliwa and Cuomo. Manhattan, let's see here. He's at 52. He's above 50%, Sean. Out in Staten Island, he's not, though.
Listen, there's no way Cuomo is going to win this, even with Sliwa's numbers. That's just bullshit. Mr. Holiday, 3421, as always, you never miss. Love you, Maddie. Thank you, buddy. 41080. Listen, y'all. Oh yeah, Sliwa. Listen, Sliwa dropped out. Cuomo still loses. He lost to Mamdani in the primary. You're not going to lose in a general. If you lose to him in the primary, you're going to lose to him in the general. That's the way it works. No problem. Thanks, James. Seth, you want me to stay? We gotta drive the number, man. I'm sorry. It's already a long week for me. And and now I got to go into all these stupid social media influencers who could have made these races better. These people are in politics. They don't even talk about the candidates. They don't do anything. They just go up and regurgitate, I own libs. And now it's I own the conservatives. I own other social media influencers. I am so sick of these soap opera frickin' influencers. I'm so sick of Tucker Carlson. What have you know what Candace said? I will never vote until we figure out who killed Charlie. Great. Now you're telling people not to vote. You're such an asshole. And then what does she do? She starts ripping on Scott Pressler for getting Jews to show up to vote. Did you see how many Jews voted for frickin' Mamdani? Are you kidding me? And Scott Pressler is getting Jewish youth to actually vote for Ciccarelli? What's wrong with that? Because they're Jews. Well, then don't tell me it's you hate Netanyahu and Israel. You hate Jews. She does. I've been telling you she hates Jews. They all do. They all hate him. Isn't it funny how much they love Ben Shapiro and now they hate him? I wonder why.
Somebody who's young, whether he can deliver on those promises of affordability or not, we're going to have to wait and see, Sean.
Alexis will be checking in with you all throughout the night. Thank you. Here with the latest on the race in New Jersey, that gubernatorial race, is Brian Yanis is with us. Brian, what's going on there?
Dude.
Sean, good evening. Well, frankly, we all know that there are 850,000 more registered Democrats than Republicans in New Jersey. For Republican Jack Ciattarelli to pull off an upset
that's right.
and win tonight, he would need to win a majority of those Republican voters, obviously, a majority of the independent voters, and even take away some of those Democrats who believe that the 8 years of leadership
Fox,
under
you suck. Karen, that's it. It's like I've been saying. Virginia's a plus 6D. New Jersey's a plus 6D. New York City's a plus 20D. These are deep blue areas. There was no way with the cuts that we saw, with the biggest topics in New Jersey being energy and crime, and in New York we know what it was about. It was repudiating Donald Trump. That's what it was about. And everyone's had a taste of Cuomo, and they don't like what it was. And Sliwa was not a serious candidate. And in Virginia, we know exactly what it was. You lay off 1 million people, and I agree with the layoffs, but they're going to vote against you, and they did. I must not be a part of the herd. I don't really listen or care what any of them say. Call me an old fart. It's fine. You don't have to, Kim. That's why I'm here. Yeah, so like these influencers, like they need to be repudiated. Go after Democrats. What are you doing? I'm so sick of this. Let's own our own people. Shut up. Sick of it. Just call these races. This is just Fox trying to get their commercials, trying to get their viewership up, to get their Nielsen ratings. This is bullshit. Just call it. You need Ciccarelli. Fine, don't call that, but you better call New York, because New York's over. New York was over 6 months ago. It was over in May. It's insanity. Mamdani, 50%. Cuomo, 40%. Call
the Republican,
it.
The incumbent attorney general in this state, he was saying, hey, if you're going to vote for Spanberger, go ahead and split your ticket.
See,
there's some evidence of that going on today, but was it enough to overcome that BRS lead?
Now,
or do the coattails of Abigail Spanberger deliver a...
Now, you're at 3.2%. Remember what I told you? Jay Jones is going to win it by 5 to 6.5%. Mark my words. How do I know this? Well, because it's gone up from 0.1% for every percent. We called that at 52%. That's 2 points. Okay? Now you've got 23 points left, 2.3. So add 2.3 to the 2.2. What do you get? 5.5. Okay? It's not hard. It's the easiest damn thing in the world. Why people can't do this on Fox and CNN, I don't understand. I just don't get it. If I have to see these same stupid pollsters like Frank Luntz sit here and open their mouth and be wrong as they are always. We won't know about California until the polls close. California won't close till it's 8 o'clock. So it's going to be 11. I'm just telling you, Prop 50 it's going to pass. Prop 50 looks really like it's going to pass, which is insanity. But Prop 50, yeah, the numbers aren't good. So I just don't understand why people can't. Why you listen to the same Karl Rove and Frank Luntz? Why are you listening to these dildos? Sorry, Pastor Jack, I apologize. I'm trying to be a better person. I'm trying. Just call it.
people pay attention to. In the last 3 years, nearly 250,000 people have left the state of New Jersey.
California's
They
8.
have left. I would imagine a great majority of those people are probably Republicans, probably seeking lower taxes, probably seeking law and order.
I lived in California for most of my life. I believe it's 8 o'clock. I'm almost 100% positive. 11 o'clock our time. My time.
Numbers tonight.
Yeah, it's a great point, Sean, and it's great to be with you and always to be.
Just
You look at New Jersey, and we haven't called the state yet, but you see some of the contours in here, and it's exactly what you're talking about. It does make you wonder, Sean, because we've talked a lot about how New Jersey has periodically had Republican governors. You look at Todd Whitman, Tom Kean, you look at Chris Christie, all of those Republican governors in New Jersey. We used to sort of see a flip. Not since 1961 has one party
You're going to see it
held
this year.
the governor's mansion 3 terms in a row.
She's winning New York by
if
75%.
Nikki Sherrill pulls this off tonight, she's going to break
Essex,
that
75.
legacy.
Middlesex.
But you have seen a big change in the
62%
complexion
now.
of the state, with a lot of people
See, that's
leaving.
the
Like
thing.
we've seen
She's
a lot
too
of
close
people
in
leave New
Monmouth.
York as well.
He needs.
We're also
He's only
hearing
winning by
that if
24.
Zoran Mamdani wins, the
He's got to win by
estimation
50.
is that 9% more people will leave New York. So it raises questions for Republicans about the feasibility of winning elections in New York and New Jersey. One of the places that I'm looking at, New Jersey, and Bill has been showing this as well.
Yeah, Angela, I know.
Is Passaic,
That's why
because
I
it's
didn't
one
say.
of the 5 counties that
I'm the one that said they closed. I know. Prop 50. It's a proposition. It's you're going to know the numbers based upon the overall polling samples. So propositions aren't the same as candidates. They can count early on props. So that's okay. They can have those 5 seats in California. Every single red state needs to redistrict now. And let's play this ball game. And we're going to come out with 20 plus seats. Just do it. And now you got a full court press. If you want to win the midterms, that's how you do it. Yep, blue going blue. Jim Brown, that's exactly right. I've been saying that for weeks. Seth, because the founding fathers felt that term limits were already in place. It's called voting. It's what we're seeing right now. I know. I think there should be an age requirement that you can't be over 70 years old and hold public office. That's just me. Screw the term limits. Just put an age limit on the damn thing.
Than they do in New York City. J.P. Morgan, so identified with New York City. If you look at Citadel,
all right,
that's Ken Griffin.
folks,
He's down
we
in
are at
Wall Street South.
we're at goal, $410.80. We're not at goal. We're aiming for 600 tonight, but that was going to be on for 6 hours. We're just trying to overdrive at this point. If you haven't had a chance to donate to the show and you like what you see, listen, we put this show on for free. If you guys donate and help out, that's wonderful. It helps us, keeps funding the show. Listen, we're right again. All right. It's just the way it is. And, there used to be a time I would celebrate this. I mean, yeah, and I'd create memes and go out. And this is par for the course. We get it right. We get it right because we're not unrealistic. We're not afraid to look at the trends and look at 50 years of voting data and go, okay, this is what people usually do. And then look at the topics and then look at the things that get people to the polls and what they don't. It's not hard. This is an easy job. But somehow people make it more complicated than it actually is. The midterms are going to be tough. And honestly, we'll probably lose unless we redistrict. We should redistrict. It needs to happen. So it's time to go nuclear? Absolutely. After what they're going to do in California, yes. Every single state that's red needs to redistrict and net 20 seats. Yep. If you're going to play the game and the Supreme Court isn't going to put a stop to it, then freaking lights out. Let's go. I look at it this way. It's just like illegal immigration. You want to stop illegal immigration? Fix the freaking rules. Change the law. If you want to stop it, change the law. Simple. What did Donald Trump do? Wrote executive orders, put 91 in place. What did Biden do? He removed them, broke the border again. What did Trump do? He came back in, he put them back in place. You want to change it? Change the law. Here it is. Mike Sherrill called it. Told you. And the fact that Mamdani's not called is just baffling to me. It's just baffling to me. Told you.
Very close loss 4 years ago. We're going to bring back Brett and Martha to get
This
reaction
is what
to
happens
this.
when you put the same
Brett,
candidate 3 times. You put a 3-time loser. Please tell me any candidate who has won after 3 failed campaigns. Biden ran twice. Clinton ran twice. You don't win after 3 failed campaigns. Go away. Go away. Or run for a lesser office and go earn your keep. Go run for state legislature. Go run for city council. But you're not going to make governor. New Jersey doesn't want you, dude. It's not personal. You're a nice guy. I like you.
That state.
I don't like that you're so thick-headed and can't realize you're not going to win in New Jersey.
The cheating scandal at Annapolis, and it really stalled the campaign for a couple of weeks. In the final days, President Obama came in. She got a lot of support, and she started seeing early vote numbers tick up, according to her campaign. And, it's enough in that environment to pull out a blue state.
Even Ross Perot stopped running. That's a good point.
Urban centers in New Jersey, and she really ran up the vote. Essex County as well, places like Montclair, suburban areas outside of New York. She did very well with women voters. We saw the same thing with Spanberger in Virginia.
See, what frustrates me is the stupid liberals that are like,
modern.
it's a blue wave. I'm like, you won your freaking places you're supposed to. The problem is that these numbers are incredibly bad for Republicans. Like 14% is an absolute ass kicking. Like, that's embarrassing. You never show your face in politics again type ass kicking. And it happened in Virginia. It happened. Winsome Sears and Citrelli should never, ever run for any political office ever again. They should do what Carrie Lake did. Just get the fuck out, because you're never going to win. Carrie Lake will never win anything. They won't either. They're just not, the appeal factor is not there. And I like Citrelli. I like Winsome Sears. I even actually somewhat like Carrie Lake. They're just not winners. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. It's not personal. They're just not winners. Good people. Good people. I like Jason Maris. He's a nice guy. I think Higgins is probably one of the nicest men I've ever met in my life. He is just such a nice guy. But they didn't win tonight. I want to see where Higgins is at. I don't know where he's at. Joseph Hill from 2110 used my EBT card. First-time viewer. You're so full of shit. Love you, buddy. Let me check where Higgins is at, because I really like him. John McAuliffe beat him. John McAuliffe beat Gary Higgins. That sucks. How bad? Higgins received 49.2. McAuliffe got 50.6. That's a close race. That's within the margin of error. Maybe Higgins checks it for a recount. I don't know. I love Higgins. I got to meet all of them. They're beautiful, kind candidates. They're salt of the earth. They're Virginians through and through. I've got nothing negative to say about them. I think Jason or Gary Higgins, he shouldn't leave politics. That's a very close race. In fact, I would challenge those numbers. It's 22,000 votes. Fine, challenge that shit. You know what I mean? Go challenge that race for Higgins. In fact, I'm going to write him tonight. I'm going to tell him, dude, you better challenge that shit. 0.4%, you need to check that vote. Wait till it's all in. John Reed, that was close enough. That's not a total embarrassment. Jason Maris, it's not a total embarrassment. They should stay in politics and run again. Winsome Sears should never run again. And I love her. Beautiful lady, kind lady. I would love to talk to her. I like her so much. But this was an absolute shellacking for her. You know what I mean? Citrelli should never run again. This is 3 times. You're done. Don't run ever again. You're a nice guy. You're a very nice guy. Write a book. Go make a podcast. But don't run again. Cuomo, don't you ever show your face anywhere in this country ever again. And Sliwa, dude, take off the fucking beret when people tell you to take off the beret and stop running against people who you're not running against. You weren't running against Cuomo. You're running against Mamdani. And you jackass took 8% of the vote that could have went at least make it closer for Cuomo, who I hate. And the biggest loser of them all is the GOP, who did not put a viable candidate in New York, did not step down Ciccarelli in New Jersey, and did not go to Governor Youngkin and make sure that he was grooming his replacement. That's the truth. You don't have to like it or not. They weren't going to win these anyway. Look at these numbers. Look at black voters. Look at women. I told you, women were breaking. This is in New Jersey. Same thing in Virginia. Everything I told you, young people, Hispanics. Hispanics broke. I'll put my bottom dollar in it. Hispanics broke for Sears. That's the only reason she did half as well as she did. I'm not mad. Nobody can be mad. I told you this was going to happen for weeks. But look at that, 49.6 to 41.6 and 8% for Sliwa. Dude, Cuomo's doing better. He's overdriving. Cuomo is actually overdriving. This is insanity. Like, I'm actually going to go look at Cuomo because I'm starting to scratch my head a little bit with these numbers. Oh my God, 120,000. That puts him 20,000 behind Mamdani. Let's see these. Holy shit. 68% in Queens. He only lost by 5.5? That's the brutal one right there. Manhattan. Oh, 40,000 votes. The Bronx. Oh, that's brutal. 11%. Yeah, Cuomo's fucked. Staten Island. Cuomo. Brooklyn. Oh, yeah. He's done. He's done. Yeah, he's toast. He's toast, but if 80% of the votes for Sliwa would have broken for Cuomo, would have been a closer race. Like, how many people voted for or didn't show up simply because Sliwa was in the race and knew that he was gonna play spoiler. See, this is the thing. I think Cuomo would have stood a chance if Sliwa would have dropped out 6 months ago or left out of the primary. But a month ago was a waste of time. There's no reason. It was already over. It's been over. Oh, I'm not mad, Seth. Seth, why would I be mad when I'm the one who's calling them? I've already called these things as a loss. I'm not mad at all. I've been coming to grips with since 2023 that Virginia was going to go blue, hard blue, because they already did. They took over the state legislature. So this was a bellwether. It was a bellwether for the blue, not a bellwether for red. People who were saying that this was a bellwether race is stupid. This has nothing to do with 2026. 2026 on its own merit is going to be a bloodbath for Republicans because of all the firings, because I don't think the economy is going to be where we need it to be. And I think people are going to repudiate Trump, and it's going to motivate the Democrats to come out and vote. Honestly, we need to redistrict. I'm telling you, that's the way we win it. Cuomo should run for never office again after what he did. He had resigned, the audacity. He should never show his face again. Yeah, but either should Sliwa. You can't put good, honest people in politics. Yeah, you can. I've got several friends who are honest. I think did they call it yet? It's not too close to call. Call this thing. Eli Crane. Eli Crane's extremely honest. I think Hawley is extremely honest. I think Steve Scalise is really, I completely disagree. I think there's plenty of good people in politics. I think that inherently Washington, D.C. corrupts even good people. I think Gary Higgins is an amazing candidate and he should have won, and they almost put him in. Cuomo had no chance, well, not with Sliwa running. If these numbers hold, this was a huge. The Sliwa staying in was an absolute abortion. If he would have dropped out 3 months ago after the primary, and he would have run as an independent, Cuomo, I think Cuomo could have beaten Mamdani. Now seeing these numbers, because you have to understand, not all the people broke with Cuomo and went with Mamdani because of Sliwa, and people who would have voted for Cuomo went with Sliwa. That's what 7.5% represents. Yeah, don't tell me, Christina, that he didn't have a chance. He had a chance if Sliwa wasn't in that race. But Sliwa was stubborn, and he had to fight against Cuomo, and he had to be Captain COVID with his red beret, and Donald Trump shunned him, and the GOP shunned him. He didn't have a chance, and he stayed in there as the spoiler. He played spoiler. So in the end, Sliwa's whole thing was to go after Cuomo because he was a bad politician by putting in even a worse politician. I defended Sliwa, fuck him. And if he was here right now, I would tell him, fuck him. Sorry. You and your stupid red beret. Sorry. Stupid. He should have taken it off. He should have stopped going after Cuomo. He should have either dropped out of the race and endorsed him and helped Cuomo. Cuomo's a jackass. Or just get out of the race. I don't like Cuomo at all. I would never vote for Cuomo. But Donald Trump isn't wrong when he says I would rather vote for a bad Democrat than the best socialist. It's kind of true. But Sliwa, look at that, 50 to 41 point. That's actually winnable. If you look at the factor that Sliwa gave votes to Mamdani because he was in the race, and he also took votes away from Cuomo because he was in the race. It's a double pendulum. It's a home and home series in hockey. It's what's known as a 4-point game. Because the team who's right behind you or right next to you in first place and second place is going to lose 2 points, and you're going to get 2 points. So they're going to go down by 2, you're going to go up by 2. It's a 4-point swing. When you have Sliwa in there with that 7% vote, he also shaved some from Mamdani, and he shaved some from Cuomo. Or he gave some to Mamdani, and he took some from Cuomo. It's a point swing. So if you go ahead and take those from Mamdani and give them to Cuomo, and take the ones you have and give them to Cuomo, it's like a home and home game. It probably equates to something like, I don't know, 3.5, 4 points. And some of those people are going to stay home and not give any points. So it's going to lower Mamdani. It's a winnable race now. He's overperforming. And that's what I did not call. I didn't expect Cuomo to overperform. He did. Seth says, I agree with you. We could turn this into an AA meeting. I'm more concerned about New York City. Once communism takes hold, it spreads. Yeah, it does. You can add Senator Ron Johnson serving Wisconsin and the U.S. to that list. Cuomo could, yeah, I like Ron Johnson. Cuomo could have added more parties to the ballot. Well, there were already 16 different people on the ballot. That's another thing. New York's just crazy. Maybe this is what New York City needs to wake up. Yeah. You go, Matt. I am Jim. He effed the city he loved. He sure did. Not much of a choice in New York City. Hey, Jojo, I'm happy you're here. Miss seeing you. CNN is projecting Zoran 1. Cakewalk. It only just one of Trump's had not moved to Florida. That, in my opinion, would have been the only chance New York had. Oh, that's interesting. 4-point swing, it seems like that. Yeah, that's what it is. All right, let's listen to the rest of this. Oh, Zoran's got called. I can go to bed. I'm not going to go to bed. I'm going to go watch my abs.
I don't know if you can say that right now, okay? All right, so on our board behind us right now, the check mark is in with 3/4 of the vote in at 75%. And we were calling it for Zoran Mamdani to be the next mayor of Gotham City here in New York. What I was talking about here, Sean, if you take all of Sliwa's numbers, okay?
So here's the deal.
And give him to Andrew Cuomo. And I'm not even saying that's an assumption you can make. And the reason you can't do that is because Sliwa, he's running as a Republican in a city that's dominated by Democrats. So 41-7 get you pretty close to 50.
Yeah, I agree.
Not quite there.
Bill, if I may interrupt you, we're going to get right back to you.
Shut
the
up,
Fox News decision desk can now project New York City has elected.
He already just did that.
Assemblyman
You're such a grandstanding dick,
Mamdani
Hannity.
to be its next
Bill
mayor.
should be
Now, he will
take
become the
Hannity's
first
slot.
local
He already
mayor
did.
of
He
the
already
city,
said it.
and its youngest in more than a century. Not really a surprise.
Sorry for
I
the
don't know why
language.
people were waking up in the last 2.5 weeks. I think they should have woke up after the.
I think Bill
primary
should look over and
where
go, I don't know, Sean, probably for the same reason that you just repeated the news that I just told you.
handily defeated Andrew Cuomo. But back to your analysis, because I think this is very key. I thought that Andrew ran a very lackluster campaign.
Obviously
I think
not. He
taking
got
10 days
41%
off
of
after
vote.
Labor Day is unthinkable if you're a candidate. I think he spent way too much time out in the Hamptons, and he didn't have a message that resonated, and he still had a hangover of hatred.
Bro, he got 48.8% on a 50.4 split. That's 2.5 points out the point of mark. How many people stayed home because Cuomo didn't have a chance with Sliwa? How many people voted for Sliwa because they thought Cuomo didn't have a chance? How many people voted for Mamdani because they didn't think Cuomo had a chance? How many people voted for Mamdani because they didn't feel there was another viable choice in the race that could possibly win? How many people stayed home because they didn't think Cuomo could win? How many people actually went to the poll and voted? Shut the fuck up. You grandstanding dick. I don't like Cuomo anymore, but you see, this is your problem. You don't learn. You don't learn anything from this. You can't sit here and go, I'm wrong. You know what? Cuomo did better than I thought. Maybe if we could have found a way to get Sliwa out, and maybe because Cuomo backed off on his campaign because he's like, there's no chance I can win. Maybe if we would have done what President Trump said, which Trump is always right, it seems, and you wouldn't be sitting here peddling for fucking Sliwa, who has no chance just because you hate Cuomo and you've got a hard-on for him. And that's why Sliwa lost, because he was running against Cuomo. He didn't even attack Mamdani. He didn't even mention his name. Why are you talking about Cuomo when we just put a socialist in office? That's why nobody watches your show. Fuck me. How am I supposed to stop cussing? How am I supposed to not be angry? I need to talk to my pastor. I need to go to church. Because I need to understand how I'm not supposed to be mad at this. You're a multi-millionaire. You get $10 million a year to sit up on that fucking dais and say things that are just absolutely false. Oh, well, even if you take 4.1.3 and add 7.5 and you get 48.8, he still loses. No, what you did is you told your listeners that Cuomo had no chance in hell. I told everyone that. Well, these numbers show that he had a scintilla of a chance if people would have got behind him and forced Sliwa out. But that didn't happen, did it? Give me a fucking break. Sean Hannity, I love your radio show. You are a smart human being, but you are a fucking shill on Fox News. You just go up there and you can never be wrong. I was right about every single thing on this election except for Cuomo overperforming. I was wrong. Cuomo overperformed. And I promise you, they didn't want Mamdani. But they didn't feel that there was another choice. When this election and the dust settles and it's all laid out, Sliwa cost Cuomo this election, period. That's the truth. Whether you like it or not, that's the truth. And Sean Hannity feels like a dildo right now, and he's trying to unfuck the couch. Sorry for the language. I've been good all night. I don't feel good about my last 5 minutes. I don't feel good about it. I'm embarrassed.
Those two places.
And
Shouldn't
let
talk
me just
like
add that, to your point, the people who live here in New York City and your friends who are saying Republicans all around the country saying that this was going to benefit Republicans somehow politically. For the people who live here, they have real concerns.
Thank you, Brett. Say it.
You won't see that in the polls and young people.
Thank you,
and,
Brett.
Even in the Jewish vote, it breaks Mamdani's way, which is pretty amazing. But you know who it's going to benefit? Elise Stefanik, who's running for governor.
That's right. That's 100%.
She tonight is probably much more positioned, better than she was yesterday.
Yes.
Because of this situation.
Yes. And what you're not going to have is you're not going to have an opposition clown ass like Sliwa. God, Sean Hannity, I'm done with him. I'm so done with him. You're not going to have a clown dick face like Sliwa going in there and running as somebody who has no chance in hell because of his pride. You know what? I'm sorry. I really, really liked Sliwa. And then he just started to bug the shit out of me when he was too prideful to drop out. But this is going to help Elise Stefanik for the governorship, and then she will neuter Mamdani. She will have his balls in her hand, and she will just squeeze and apply pressure. Governor owns mayors, just like the president of the United States owns governors. It's just the way it is in the hierarchy. Mayors will get just destroyed. Stefanik has a great chance, and this shows it. New York is soft, guys. New York is vulnerable. You want to talk about a blue that was a plus? I told you it was a D20. You had a D6 and a D6 and a D20 city. You take New York City, you take Manhattan, you take the Bronx, you take Queens, you get New York as a Republican. Cuomo showed that it's possible. You get a middle of the road and Elise Stefanik softens a little bit, just a little bit, because she's a ball breaker. But she softens a little bit on abortion, just a little bit, like I told you Donald Trump had to do. She comes in there and she's hard on crime. She's a Rudy Giuliani type on crime. You do that, she has a chance to win. She'll beat Hochul. But Sliwa fucked this up. That's right, Chuck says. How do conservative voters go from conservative candidate, however bad, go to socialist candidate? It's pretty simple. The conservatives didn't show up. And the ones that did voted for Cuomo. They listened to Donald Trump. They voted for Cuomo. What the push you saw from Cuomo closing that gap has everything to do with Donald Trump. Donald Trump told the red New Yorkers, who they love, to go vote for Cuomo, and they did. Sliwa's numbers dropped. Remember, he was running 16, 17%. Cuomo overproduced by what? 7, 8%? There's the number. It's Donald Trump voters. I don't even have to look at the final numbers. It's right there. I just told you how it happened. Sliwa was running 16. Cuomo was running 29. There's your 7 points. There's your 41.2% for Cuomo. There's your 7.4% for Sliwa. There's your 50.6% for Mamdani. Mamdani dropped. Cuomo went up. Sliwa dropped. That's Donald Trump. That's all Trump. So all you had to do, yes, that's basically what I was saying. I'm working on cleaning up my oil-filled potty mouth a little bit. So am I. I've been so good. I've cussed more right tonight than I have in a couple weeks. And I'm going to pray on it. I feel bad, and I'm sorry. And I'm trying to be a better man. Did Trump back Curtis Sliwa? Absolutely not. And Trump didn't back Winsome Sears either. On the Monday telecall he had, he didn't back her. Folks, I'm going to go in the next couple of minutes. Dumbshow.com/donate, $431.90. We had a goal of 600. We're not going to hit the 600. That's fine. But we really want to try to just drive a little bit harder. Been a long night, long day. We understand how things go. If you want to help out the Dumb Show, now's the time. We got 5 minutes, and we're going to go ahead and dial it back down. I'm going to look at a couple of these other races and just see what I can see. Go into Virginia for us while we're waiting for that 5 minutes. And I'm going to go watch my hockey game and kiss my wife. Jay Jones. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so now it's 3.8. It hasn't moved a lot, but they're 84% in. 51, there it is. Go figure, there it is. 1.7% and 2.1. He just is at 3.8. Now he's at 3.8. So this is over. This needs to be called any time now. So the Mayeris is done. He may contest, so I wouldn't be shocked if he contests. This was a bloodbath. Just a bloodbath. 14% for Mikey Sherrill. New York City, going over this again. Yeah, those numbers aren't getting any better for Curtis Sliwa, are they? 50.5, 41.3. God, that's unbelievable. Oh, look at Queens. 5% in Queens, guys. 10% to other candidates. He could have won Queens. I'm telling you, if you take out Sliwa, he wins Queens. Yeah, he wouldn't have done that well in Brooklyn, but look at that, 6 points. That puts him at 41. This gives him the race right here. If he just picks up that 5-9, picks up half of that, he's right back in it. He picks up half of that, he's in it. Oh, oy vey. Wow. How was Winsome going? She's done. Everybody lost. All blue. All blue. All blue, Magoo. California, it's not in yet. Prop 50. I'm telling you right now, Prop 50 doesn't look good. Pennsylvania, Supreme Court. Christine Donahue retain, yes. Looks like that's going to go. Retain Kevin Doherty, looks like it's yes. Retain David Wecht, looks like it's yes. Looks like all Democrats are going to hold Pennsylvania Supreme Court. James says this is not a good thing. No, these are blue states. Guys, these are all blue. They're all blue. They expected to win. No, it's not. This is not a bellwether. I'm just telling you guys. The bellwether comes in midterms, and midterms are all based upon what happens in midterms with a first-term president, or Donald Trump still considered a first-term president even though it's a second term. It is what it is. It's not a great night. VA is blue again. Dude, VA was blue in 2023. All right. Well, the good news is we just hit 335,700. Matt is just having fun. He doesn't like the results, but he's having fun. Yeah. I love this shit, even when we lose. Because I move on. It's an election. In the end of things, we still have the presidency, we have the Senate, we have the House. And if we redistrict, we'll continue to have the House, and the Senate looks good. The federal government, state sucks. I live here, but I still have hope for the federal. The federal government, I've got hope for. Donald Trump's in place. I'm okay with it. If you want my predictions, looks like the 18th congressional district is going to go to a Democrat in Texas. So there's that. And Prop 50 is up, but I predict Prop 50 passes. Let's see if there's anything else before we go. Then I got to go.
Anywhere. I'm not really surprised. I had hopes for New Jersey. It was a hope. There was a shot. There was a chance.
No, there wasn't.
But the math was the math. And I knew that going in. 250,000 people left in 3 years. Nearly 1 million vote advantage for Democrats, registered over Republicans. So
hey, guys,
I
Jay
was
Jones just got
well.
called as the winner. So there you go.
No doubt. This is what happened when Democrats turn out to vote in largely Democratic blue states, and that's what happened.
Right.
The one curious thing, though, Sean and Ari, is that the voters told pollsters they want lower taxes, fewer regulations, less crime, less chaos with respect to migration. They want to make sure that the police are respected and that their values are reflected. And then they went and voted against all of that today in the form of these governors. Look, Jack Ciattarelli, we were all very hopeful, but guess what? The Fox News voter analysis suggests that he failed to win young men and to replicate what President Trump did one short year ago with Hispanics, with union households, with independents. So to the extent that tonight is a referendum on President Trump at all?
The 18th district is Harris County. It's predominantly inner city. Blue. It's going to go blue. Blue, 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 blue. That's it all. Everything's okay. We're all going to be fine. All right. I want to say thank you. I think that was it for donations. I think we maxed out our potential tonight. People are like, screw this, I'm out. But you know what? $431 is a great night. We appreciate you. Listen, I want you guys to be okay. I want you to take a breath. This isn't it's what I said. These are blue areas. 18th district is blue. Prop 50 is blue. Pennsylvania Supreme Courts are blue. Virginia, all blue. New Jersey, blue. New York, blue. It blew. B-L-E-W. B-L-U-E. It blew. That's it. So now, what do? We got to redistrict. A shit ton of redistricting. We got to take those House congressional seats, and we got to take them away from Democrats, because that's what they're going to do in Virginia. And this sucks, because it looks like the delegates are all going to go 6 for 6. We're going to lose all of our areas. No bueno. You know what I mean? It sucks. I'm upset. I mean, like when I get off here, I'm going to go and be upset with my family. I'm not going to be upset with y'all. But this sucks. Like, Virginia is now blue. Bluer than hell. I got to decide, am I going to stay here? I just built a brand new set. Am I going to stay here, or am I going to leave? Am I going to go to West Virginia? I don't want to go to West Virginia. West Virginia sucks. So I'm going to have to make a decision. But this, it's going to take more than 4 years for this state to go to hell. But if they redraw the lines out here, we won't win a race for 30 years. That scares me. Because people like Northam and McAuliffe came from here, and these people are sick. You got to remember where we were. Expose Mamdani? I've already done it. I can't expose him more than Sliwa and Cuomo did. They screwed up. I'm going to go root for the Avs. That's exactly right. I'm going to go root for my Avalanche, who are the best 5-on-5 team in hockey, defensive team in hockey, goaltending tandem in hockey. Power play is a little hard, but penalty kill in hockey. Avs are a wagon. I got to get out of here. Appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. Big show tomorrow. Olivia and I will be on, and we can't wait to see it. We can't wait to talk to you. We'll have news like we always do. We'll talk about a bunch of fun stuff, and we'll sing Kumbaya. And once again, this really is immaterial. California is going to redistrict, Virginia is going to redistrict, and then all the red states are going to redistrict, and we'll have plus 20 seats. That's what we need to do, as long as the Republicans don't cave. And by the way, Republicans, if you open the government right now, I will disavow all GOP. Do not reopen the government. Keep that thing closed and locked down. You already lost the elections. And you're too far away from midterms to give a shit. Lock it down. Don't open it up. Don't touch it. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how much they burn shit down. Don't open it up. Make Democrats come in and consign and sign this. Do not open it up. Worst possible mistake. That is you reacting to the election. Keep it closed. I have a feeling Democrats come to the table and actually vote for it. We'll see. Good night, everybody. God bless. Love you. Bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.